is weird. It's weird to do this
It's been a
again.
minute.
It's
I
been a hot
know.
minute. So
Yeah.
for anyone that just jumps in or watches this recording later, Bjorn and I were just doing some co-working. Also for
Exactly.
TikTok, because I'm doing that on a separate device that does not show Bjorn's side at all. They're just going to hear my side of the conversation.
Which I think is great. It's anybody who's just randomly checking into it, they'd be like, "What happened? Did he finally go crackers? Like, was this the moment?"
I mean, they know that I'm going crazy, like, daily.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
But
So
this will be one of the moments where they just go, "Who hurt him? What happened?
yeah.
What happened?"
So if you're watching over on the Dice Jailers Twitch channel,
Yeah.
you'll see my and Bjorn's screens as we just kind of co-work. Bjorn's currently working on. Well, you can tell them. I mean, the TikTok won't know.
This
But
I'm not currently so much working on as I'm just happily showing off the map for our next campaign that I spent 3 months on, which
oh,
is
word.
it's I'm gonna pat myself on the back. It's beautiful. I love it. I was reading some like critique stuff of like how to build a map, and kind of one of the big things I read was, okay, make sure you don't try and include too many biomes in one map. That's not a thing that really happens in reality a whole lot. And I went, this is high fantasy. Fuck it. I'm going to do that because I want them all, and that's
Yeah.
fine. The biggest thing we're still playing with on this, and that's the royal we, is how much space each one of these hexes is going to be.
Yeah.
Not everything's to scale. Like this castle, fortress city here, that castle's not actually that big, but it's to represent that this is a massive, sprawling city. Though I did look
But
at the
also, what if it
dimensions.
was?
Yeah, well, I did look at the
What if it
dimensions like
was that
London.
big?
And London is about 25 miles tall by about 30 miles wide.
Yeah.
So if I had each one of these hexes represent, 25 miles, then that thing, it's a bit bigger than London, and it's a large city. So if we assume that one of these is taking up a single hex, which is probably about what I would assume, it's like, cool, yeah, those big cities are about the size of London. This is going to be fun. This MFR is divided up.
I've got an idea, if I may interrupt just for a moment.
I love ideas.
No, because that's just going to make feedback. I'm trying to figure out how to get your audio still going to TikTok Live.
Disembodied voice.
I'm just thinking of like how can I do it? Like, and the first thought that I had was just to take the other half of my Bluetooth headphones and put it next to the microphone. But I don't know if that would make feedback or not.
It might.
I mean,
very well might.
Because it's recording my audio here. No, but it's not playing anything that would come back out, and it's not like playing I think it'd be fine. Someone in the chat on TikTok, let me know if there's feedback here now, and if you could hear Bjorn at all. Just so you could be a disembodied voice there. If it's terrible and screechy over on TikTok, I'm sorry.
I mean, are you?
Yeah, I
like at least a little.
I generally like the people that are over following me on TikTok.
Understandably.
I mean, if you wanted to, like, you could do what I'm doing, where like you put up your phone leaning on something and pull up TikTok on like Dice Jailers, and I can make you a co-streamer on that.
Oh no, what I'm doing right now is I've actually pulled you up, so I'm watching you on mine, so I can see you from multiple angles right now like a creep.
Okay, yeah, I see that you're here now. Can you hear yourself through that?
Well, let me shut the volume. I have it muted.
Because putting that up would definitely cause feedback for sure, which would be very loud and annoying, but kind of funny to me.
No, I don't hear a damn thing. I don't hear a damn thing at all. No.
Oh, because I heard you twice from my end.
I guess the tiniest grumble. Like I sound like a tiny gremlin way in the background.
Yeah, I mean, but I can still hear it. I'm sure that they didn't understand anything you said.
I mean, but I can still hear it. So see, I'm going to kill the sound on this again, because otherwise I'm hearing you twice with a slight delay, and my ADD is not equipped for that kind of fucking setup of just being like, oh, I'm here,
Yeah.
Jordan Toys. Okay, Paul,
Yeah.
kind of hear him, but not really. Paul is the most
Yeah.
helpful person in the world.
Well, Bjorn, I think you've met Paul before. Last time he came back up here to visit. He's a buddy of mine that I graduated college with.
It is entirely possible. I'm also so terrible with faces and names. This is so a way I've gotten through so much of my life, especially my adult life, is when I realized how bad I am with faces and names. Shortly after the famous Marshawn Lynch, I'm just about that action boss interaction with primetime Deion Sanders. I realized boss was a great way to refer to people. And, you know, Michael Robinson, he also had that bit where he was filling in being Marshawn for the interview and kept ending everything in boss. And I'm like, boss is great because it's gender neutral. So I can use it for everyone. And it's not one of those words where people are going to be like offended if you refer to him by it. Like there are some people who, like, if you call them buddy, they really don't fucking like it, and they'll be like, I am not your buddy, pal, and
I'm not your pal,
so
friend.
I adopted it to get off the hook to not remember people's names, because I'm very bad at it, and I've only been called out a couple times where people have realized, you don't actually know my name, do you? And I'll be honest,
I do the nickname thing all the time. I do the nickname thing all the time when I don't remember people's names. Like I've had people like board members of theaters that I've worked at or have been at. They I don't think any of them noticed. I mean, it doesn't matter now because I don't work at that theater anymore.
Sure.
Ooh, also, trying to do what I just tried to do slowed down everything so much, so we are choppy as all get out over on Twitch. But that's fine.
That's fine. Twitch will figure it out. Figure it out, Twitch.
I mean, most of today is just a test to see if I can make stuff work for us co-working and yapping and trying to be on TikTok and on Twitch at the same time, which my technology is not set up well for.
Well, I mean, if we're doing like the just yapping, this may be a thing where maybe I should be like, not today, not this time, where I can throw it to Twitch, because mine can handle that. I think. I
don't know. It depends on your graphics card. Apparently,
my graphics card's pretty good.
Yeah, apparently, like, it's super graphics card intensive to try and do the TikTok stream that is up on in phone mode, as well as on portrait and landscape are the two I was trying to remember how to say, but trying to do it portrait and landscape at the same time through like TikTok's live studio thing on the computer is apparently very, very graphics intensive, or at least back when that's what TikTok thinks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, back when I bought this laptop, I put a couple dollars into the graphics card. Though if I ever get this office a little better set up, there may be a desktop coming in here so that I can actually run something a little more powerful and a little more comfortable, and maybe have more than just the two monitors. I'd like a third one, but getting two extra monitors off of a laptop, there's not enough ports. There aren't enough ports on this thing.
I love my full desktop setup. The only thing that sucks is that, like, when we try to go to like your places or Phoenix's to try and record, well, these things ain't mobile.
Nope, they sure ain't.
Yeah,
not even a little.
But yeah, all right. Trying to do 5 things at once. It's fun.
Fun's important.
I like fun. I just realized that everyone, while they've been watching like your map, which also is kind of blinking in and out on the screen for some reason, but that's for future us to deal with.
It is.
They also
that's the nice thing about this. We're learning things so that we don't try and record and broadcast actual entertainment and go, oh fuck.
I mean, if we were actually like planning a thing for this, dear Lord. Like, if this was the debut of if this was a debut of the first season.
Oh, no.
I mean, our debut for the first season of Dice Jailers was already pretty rough.
It was a little bit, but that's okay.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
all
we did
right.
our best.
We did.
We did as well as we could have.
Oh yeah, I can actually see. Seeing, I'm looking at our own Twitch stream right here. I think this is a little interesting split screen there.
Yep.
Oh, all right.
See, it looks not awful. It is weirdly stretched.
Yeah, yeah. I see. It's these dang menus that are blinking.
Yeah. But, you know, it
Okay,
is what it be.
let's just hide the right panel. That
Hide the
should.
right panel?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be hiding the wrong panel? Da 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 da
No.
da da.
Look at that. Look at that creativity.
Yeah. I got my degree in theater.
That $5 will get you a latte.
I mean, $5? That's saying a lot.
It's a small latte.
Okay, yeah.
Small one.
Like a latte at my local coffee shop. Shout out to Analog Coffee, not a sponsor, just a friend of mine.
Hey, those are good people to know. Good
Yeah.
people to know.
And I gotta say, some of the most fun, I think, for this testing still is just that TikTok is only getting half of me.
Yep. And that's all it needs right now. That is
Yep.
all it needs.
But I think maybe by shifting up a couple things, I might be able to still get a better view and also audio of you on TikTok.
Hey, audio is always good.
I'm
We love
trying.
audio.
I'm really trying.
I know you are. It's phenomenal. It looks like you are you about to start building your character?
Yeah, I was thinking about during this just chilling and yapping with you if
Yes.
I would start to build my character for the next campaign and talk with you about like where he might be from, like what kind of things might be open. I won't share too many backstory things with the audience as a sneak preview, but
Right.
just some little
Yeah,
stuff.
Because there's already the one thing where I was like, hey, how about instead of that you do this?
Yep.
And
Uh-huh.
I'm all about it. It super works with a lot of stuff that I want to do here, particularly in the long term. So that's fun.
Yeah.
You won't know anything about that for a long time. It's gonna be great. Nothing bad can possibly happen. Don't worry.
No, it's not like I have a history of in building my characters for TTRPGs. It's not like I have a history of giving you every knife to stab my character in the back with.
Oh yeah, no, this is gonna have some cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have you notice just a little thing as I go around this map. Look how many ports we have.
Yep, we've got a
All
lot of
these
boats.
places for
Just
boats
for
to be.
Paul over on
Literally the
TikTok.
only reason. Yeah.
Just I have to talk to two audiences at once. Hey.
Yeah, you do.
But Paul wanted to know when we're starting the campaign, and that's as soon as we can.
Yep.
Like we were back when we were first doing some other planning, we were shooting for like starting now. But because we want to make sure that everything's really good and polished, we're maybe gonna try in January. Also, I'm gonna try to. This is a thing I haven't announced to anyone really, but I'm going to try to see if we can get the whole cast together in January, down at I can't remember which hotel they're doing it in at SeaTac, but OrcaCon down in SeaTac. Gonna try and see if the window hasn't closed yet for us to sign up to do just a live actual play just there for just for whoever's at the con. I don't know if it's too late to apply or not. I haven't really looked into it. I've got to buy my badge first before I can apply. So
Sure.
that's
Let's
that's
see
for
here.
future me. But that'd be
It's happening
between
the 10th,
January
the
10th and 12th. But yeah, OrcaCon's really cool. It used to be in Bellevue. This is the first year that they're doing it closer to Seattle. And with the place that they're specifically planning, it's very, very easy to get there via the light rail. So I'll be able to get there with my, carless self pretty easily.
Nice. That is always ideal.
So I think I might be able to stop going live for a moment on here,
Yep.
so I can then go live on here for TikTok, and then they should be able to hear you.
Hearing is great.
So we're gonna test that. So I'll be back up on the live in a moment, as soon as we figure out what is that notification for. Nope, ADHD, don't get distracted. We have stuff to do. Okay, let's try again. Doing stuff and things, and yes, it's over there. And do. Yeah, I don't really care about those different things and settings that you're trying to make me do. Is it going? Is it up? Is it good? I don't know. We'll
Is it all
see.
happening? Magic?
I don't friggin' know. I think maybe... Yeah, no, it says still offline, which doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Oh, damn. I just looked
I'll
at the dates
figure it out.
of OrcaCon. We are in Portland that entire weekend.
Oh, you're in Portland that whole weekend? Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Well,
going to the Prestige Wrestling Show.
oh, that's right. I forgot that that was that weekend. Oh, nope. It looks like we are live back up again on TikTok through my computer this time.
Okay.
I hope. I don't know. We'll see. But now I only have one camera to look at, and they can hear you now. They just can only barely see you.
Okay, well, hey, that works. So they can actually hear me on the TikTok.
As far as I can tell, yeah.
Awesome.
At least the little sound bar goes up down there.
Hey, if the sound bar goes up, that probably means a thing.
Yep.
Doesn't always mean a thing, but it sometimes does.
I'm just gonna keep in the middle of while we're doing this, kind of futz with the view on TikTok and try and get us more visible.
Love that.
Who knows if it'll work?
I mean, always a mystery.
Yeah. Who knows? But at least it's showing me that there are people here, people are coming back, and I'm just gonna hope and assume that people can hear us.
We'll take it. We'll take it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But coming back, yeah, it's just taking a lot of my computer's processing power, so maybe I should turn off Steam for a moment.
It's thinking hard, working hard.
Yeah, it's doing its best.
But that's okay. That's okay.
Like I'm gonna figure out a way to make us more visible. It's just gonna look bad for a minute.
That's okay. Sometimes that's just how it is.
But at least,
It's just how it is.
it only looks bad on the TikTok view, and it doesn't look bad over on twitch.tv/dicejailers.
You know what? It's all a process to build.
Yeah.
All a process.
And like it's been worse.
That's not a lie. That is not a lie.
Yeah. Like
It's been better. But it's been worse.
Oh boy. I don't know what I just did, but I want to undo it because I just made it look bad.
Yep. You're like, oh no, I don't know what I was going for. Not that. There's a great big sack of not what I was going for.
Can I is there just an undo? Is there just an undo? Hooray!
There is.
There's just an undo.
That's good. Undo button is wonderful.
Yeah. I just, TikTok's just going to be able to watch as I struggle to figure out how to make this frame correctly.
That's okay, though.
And because people love to watch us struggle.
Oh, man. We're very good at struggling.
Oh, and
very good at it.
You just pulled it up on your phone so you can watch me struggle in person. How dare
I did.
you?
Of course I did. It's like, come on. It's like you just met me. I mean, this is...
Yeah, it's not like
what I do is go, what's happening?
It's not like we've been acting and doing D&D shows and just generally being friends for 8 years now?
Something like that. It all blends together. No, fuck, longer than that. Longer than that, because
I don't remember how long ago.
Plot Hole.
Yeah, I don't remember how long ago Plot Hole was.
I don't either, but the only reason I know it's more than 8 years ago is because I got a notification today where it's like, this was 8 years ago today, and that was when I saw Temple of the Dog. And I know I saw Temple of the Dog after we did Plot Hole.
Okay. Then,
there aren't a lot of things in my life that I really know the progression of. But I'm like, I know. So, got to be in close to the 9-10 year territory, I would guess.
Dang, man.
Something like that.
We're getting old.
Time's a weird soup. It all blends together.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting old. Together. You own a whole house?
That's weird. I'm still not entirely understanding that. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I like it a lot.
I mean, your house is gorgeous.
You know what? It's about the right size. It's got good room. Yeah, you know it, baby.
Did you just look at your phone just to see tiny you?
Oh, I just see it now. That's great. Yeah, there I am.
Tiny Bjorn.
I look like the bad influence in your life right there, which is...
no, if you were the bad influence in my life, you'd be, about here over on my shoulder.
Yeah, that's the spot. That's the spot right there. That's the one. That is the one that says, hey, I know you have a matinee tomorrow, but you know what you should do tonight? Go to the bar. That's...
I mean, yeah, but with this show, our matinees, the next show I'm doing, our matinees aren't all that early, so...
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So I'll, go over to the bar that is right next to the theater. Let's see. Are our prop squares? Yeah, there's it's I mean, another little plug for them. St. Andrews.
I know where St. Andrews is.
Yeah, it's just a couple blocks away from the theater.
Okay.
That's often where the cast goes to hang out after the show.
That's not far from me.
Especially on days where Seahawks play either earlier or later in the day. We'll go watch. That is a giant fly that is in my home.
That's where you learned you were good at darts.
No, actually, that was over at Hillside.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just the other day when I was messaging you. The other day, I was playing darts with a couple of my friends. One of whom it was their birthday. I don't know if they want to be mentioned by name on the internet or not, so I won't. Because that's called courtesy, kids.
4.5.
But yeah, we were just over there playing darts, and I haven't played darts since Christmas with my family when I was a teenager.
Sure.
Because one of my mom's brothers is very much good at darts and pool and pick a bar game. And so I think that's the last time I played darts. But man, I was throwing pretty well.
Okay.
At least until the end when I needed to try and get single digit points, and I kept accidentally hitting the ring that's triple points. And that's not exactly what you want to do when you're trying to get 6 points.
Trying to get something very specific, yeah. I'm good at throwing the dart in the direction of the board.
Oh, I feel that.
Yeah, in the direction, no problem.
That was what.
Hitting it,
That
on
was
the
what.
other hand, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, you do what it do.
Yeah, it's like I'm not going to go so far as to say I can't, because I certainly can hit the board sometimes, but I'm mostly good at hitting the wall in and around it. So if someone's got, a bar where there's darts set up and they want their wall aerated a little bit, I can really help with that.
So shout out to you,
Really
anyone on
help.
the internet. If you
Yeah.
own a bar and you want holes in the wall,
Yep.
Bjorn can do
Just
that with a dartboard.
I'll come down, I'll pay for some beers, and I will hurl those pointy MFers. I will aim for the target, but I will not hit that thing.
It's
I will not.
it is what it is.
Yeah. Look, it's important to know your limitations and not lie about them. That's
That's
kind
true.
of the thing. Because
God,
if
we just
you go, yeah, if you go and pop off, you're like, oh yeah, darts, no problem. I'm great. It's going to come up soon, and sooner than you think, that you're going to have an opportunity to show exactly what your skills are. And yeah, that's like so I always recommend, like, don't overinflate your capabilities, because reality is a harsh fucking mistress.
yeah, you don't want to oversell it.
No.
But I mean, we've got our screens shared, showing off that very, very pretty map of yours
It's
that you've
fun.
made.
It's a little overwhelming as I think about all the writing I have to do for this, but I'm reminding myself I only really need to write where you guys start.
Yeah,
That's
you have to
kind
write,
of
where we're at and the next place we'll be.
exactly, because when you guys start over here, I don't have to have anything written for over here. That's across the entire continent. You'll get there eventually.
I mean, unless one of us is from there, which I don't know.
Um, it's not improbable, but it's also not exactly likely.
I mean,
We'll get into all the ins, outs, and crunchy bits of who you are, what you're doing, what your character's all about.
my character, Little Sir Orphan, can be from anywhere.
I know exactly where the fuck your character's from, and you don't get to know for a long time. That is, I have that piece of lore locked away. Like, even when I open up all the lore documents, that's behind a DM only lock.
It's like I can't even
see it.
accidentally see it. I love that.
Fuck no, absolutely not.
Because I don't want to know. I don't, and I told you that when we were starting to plan. And I'm really glad that you've taken steps to fight against my ADHD curiosity.
Oh no, it's great. There are a couple people who do know, and the people who know will never see it, as they're just people that I talked about it in some. They're not going to have the attention span to watch or listen long enough for us to get there. It's just they'll probably tune in for about the first 5 or so, and then their attention span is going to fizzle right the fuck out, and they will be on to some other series that they will start and get a few. I know how these people operate. I know them. They've read the first couple chapters of many books.
The only person that I've told anything is our good friend Dana, who I'm 90% sure has already forgotten what I've told them. Which is just
Dana,
prime.
who unquestionably needs to be brought in as a guest star on some various episodes and whatnot. Oh, a thing I really want to do with this campaign that we talked on this a little bit, but we were talking on so many things that night, and there were beers and shots consumed.
Yeah.
This is a good time to say. So I'm probably going to do the classic thing of starting y'all at level 3 so you can have, enough hit points not to die, and have
love that
your subclass, like have a fully realized character. But I think I'm going to have all of you create level 3, level 2, and level 1 versions of your characters, because I would love for one of the first times you guys are sitting down having camp, sort of asking, okay, so how do you all know each other? Or how did you get here? Have it be a flashback. And instead of your character sitting there and telling the story, run what would be maybe a 1-2 shot for us that we could cut up
Yeah.
into some hour-long segments. It would make a good handful of episodes, but then you could sort of run it at level 2. You would kind of know who your character is, some of their motivations, and that would help be like if you were a fighter and you knew you were going to become Eldritch Knight. This would help show how you stepped into that Eldritch Knightiness.
Like
and
the time that you took to learn magic and such.
Yeah. And then even further along, we could have something where it's full on, okay, so how did you even become an adventurer? And then run stuff with your characters at level 1. And so my thought is we have 4 players. I want it where each character knows another character well and has a good opinion of them. Like, and so those backstories, those level 2s, we would need like 2 other guest stars to come in. So those 2 people could run it, or the other 2 players could like make up characters, but it's always fun to bring in people we know and run stuff with them. Like, I mean,
I know Ethan really wants to jump in, and like, it's always fun to get Whitney in, although
I was just going to say, I bet we can get Whitney.
I know Whitney might be too busy now between all of the cons and the actual play that she's DMing.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, the award-winning Whitney.
That's right. Our good award-winning friend Whitney.
The award-winning dice making. I have some for dice right here.
Yeah,
I love them. These are amazing.
That reminds me, it's almost Christmas. I need to see if I can get something real quick from her to give out as a gift. And by give out as a gift, I mean just for myself.
Yeah. And then, you know, I also want to do like the whole level 1 where it's like, how did you become an adventurer? And I would just absolutely love if, okay, we take your level 1 versions and we just get 3 other chuckle fucks, and those become super great where maybe you know you want a little more of a tragic backstory and you were the sole survivor of a thing. What's great about that is
if we bring in guests, they can all die.
And you can be the sole survivor with a TPK. Like, resurrection magic exists. So it's not like your character gets plot armor. Yeah. That's the really fun thing about those, where it's just understood, hey, if you all get killed, the story beat that will follow that is going to straight up be, hey, there was only enough resources to bring back one of you. And this is the one they brought
that's
back.
And
all of a sudden, you get to add
that hurts me already.
You get to add a new feature to your character, Survivor's Guilt, which is
I don't. We'll make a custom feat for that.
I will. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm all about it. Yeah, like I said, I know I've told you this. I'm gonna really do a lot of try and do everything out of the new 2024 books, because I mean, this is a really cool time to be starting a campaign. There's brand new source material. I've already found one thing I'm changing about Wizards, though. This will be, and it's. I hate that Wizards
the class, not the company.
No, yeah, yeah. They're Wizards. You answer to me now.
My brain just immediately thinks of the company rather than the class now, because of all the times that we've talked about, like, all right, so this is what Wizards did today.
Yep. So yeah, Wizards of the Coast, I need you to understand. Chris Perkins and I recently had a secret underground leg wrestling match, and I won. So you work for me now.
You heard it here first.
The memos. You heard it. Breaking news. The memo's going to go around. Every class will have a barbarian subclass added to it. All of them. So you're like,
and you'll require that con isn't a dumb stat.
Constitution cannot be your lowest score ever.
I disagree so heavily. I've had so much fun with so many characters that have had low Constitution scores, and except for when I'm playing with you, they usually live. But also when I'm playing with you, how your dice roll It does
Yeah,
not
man.
matter if I have a lot of hit points or not. My character's still
Look,
going down.
here's the thing. You're an enabler because I know you like to complain about it. You gave me this. You gave me this, and so that just means this die I have that, as you know, wants to kill you
It
is
does.
absolutely going to get this amazing treatment by being in this wonderful color changing skull mouth. Like this is where it lives now.
Look, I'm
'Cause I
I'm
make
hoping that it lives there permanently
no
and
fuck
it
no. Are you
never
kidding
comes
me?
out again.
Well, of course it comes out again. That son of a
No,
bitch is gonna sit behind when we play in person. That son of a bitch sits behind my DM screen. I just keep it ready. It's it's important to me. No, the thing about the wizard class that I'm changing is I'm making it that wizards can expend a use of their arcane recovery to change a spell of equal level, and that's literally only
Yeah.
because I absolutely hate in a game where you get to some sort of obstacle that if the wizard just had fly, you could get past this, and
Yeah.
there's really no other reasonable way. And as a DM, maybe you put that in there because you're like, oh, I know the wizard always prepares fly and it'll be so cool. The wizard can have their moment, and you really
Hmm.
designed it for the players to win. Because I do that sometimes because it's fun
Yeah.
when your players win. You, it's fun when they lose too, but it's also really fun when they win. I like to see my players smile and weird like that. But if that's the one fucking time the wizard didn't prepare a fly, I don't want it to be, well, we have to take a long rest now. If the wizard could just go, hey,
Yeah.
I will burn a use of my arcane recovery to change out this spell, I don't expect it to come up much, but it just keeps the game moving and it lets the wizard feel cool.
Yeah, and it gives it gives the wizard a chance to really be the hero no matter the situation, you know?
Which
And
I think is
like
important.
and like you still need the time to take an hour for the wizard to sit there. So it's not
Yeah.
like it's a thing that you can just do in combat.
Yeah, yeah, because arcane recovery takes a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Though, I mean, if they wanted to burn the action to do it in combat or whatever, sure, it takes your
I
turn. I don't
mean,
care.
like if you were to take I feel like there's some wiggle room to do some like you can't recover whatever the max level of your arcane recovery is in the middle of combat. But if you wanted to hot swap one of your first level spells and you can spend like, 2 spell slot levels above that or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'm looking at it right here. It even says in arcane recovery, it's when you finish a short rest.
Yeah. So like you've
So
gotta
yeah,
you've gotta sit down for an
there
hour.
would be no hot swapping in combat, which is great
Hmm.
because once initiative's rolled, what you have prepared is what you have prepared.
Yeah, because I mean every round's only 6 seconds, which
Mhm.
is it's still funny to me to mentally picture. Like I know it's timed out so that like 6 seconds, so that a spell that lasts a minute is 10 rounds. Like
Yeah.
I know that that's why every round of combat is 6 seconds, but it's still funny to me because there's some things that only make sense if you're incredibly trained, which these adventurers would be.
Sure.
But would only make sense that you could do it in that speed if you were
What?
ridiculously highly trained.
And then there are some like you go into training, and this is where you have to just sort of, I think you have to sometimes remind people, yes, it's a game and it's not meant to reflect real life.
Hmm.
Is the martial classes when they get like extra attack, and you get people like, what do you mean they can only swing the sword twice in 6 seconds? I'm like, yes, if you are well trained with any martial weapon, you can do far more attacks than that. This is
But
not
how
meant to
many of
represent
those?
reality. If it
Yeah,
did, it wouldn't have magic and dragons, damn it.
and
So,
how many of those are full strength hits? Even if you're doing it at that speed,
enough for it to suck.
I mean, yeah, but pretty much
I
taking
don't care.
any hit still sucks by a measure.
Oh yes. As someone who has taken just blunt swords to their body when something has fucked up in stage combat. It still hurts. It still
Yeah.
hurts a lot. A lot, as a matter of fact.
I mean,
got a little scar right there from where I took a broadsword to the head.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun.
speaking of stage combat stuff, you
Yeah.
up for any new certifications these days?
Actually, I'm working on my sword and shield right now, which is fun. It's really, they get heavy. It's, if I'm gonna whine, and I'm allowed to whine sometimes, if I had to pick a least favorite style, I would say sword and shield, only because they get really heavy at the end of my 3-hour class, and
Yeah,
just
I
the
get
shields
that.
aren't light, man. They aren't light, but it's a lot of fun, and they make good clangy bangy. And then this winter, I'm taking a two-handed
Nope.
sword again, which is awesome because I just got a brand new two-handed sword that I'm
Yeah,
dying
you did.
to break out and play with. And the fact that two-handed sword is about to happen is so cool. So much fun. I love any excuse to play with swords, and yeah, they're fun.
Yeah, man.
I need more of them.
I'm excited.
I need more of them.
I'm excited to see just what you do with all of the everything that you have stage combat wise. I really need to get into some classes with you, but that's time that I haven't had until recently.
It can be a lot of time, but it is a lot of fun. I've done a ton of classes over the last 3 years, and it has been worth all of the time spent on it. And even if there's nothing immediate that comes from any of it, I'm glad to have it. The only, like, if people are really gonna get into it, the advice that was given to me that I completely agree with is, if you're gonna start training in it, don't just be like, oh cool, I got this certification, I don't need to ever take another class for 3 years when it expires. It's like, it's a skill, and if you're not continually working it, it's going to erode, and
Muscle memory is
it's
short
a
term.
real thing. It is, man. You ain't kidding. You are not
Yeah.
kidding. I'm finding just in my jujitsu classes how short term my muscle memory can be. When I learn something on Tuesday, we are going to review it on Thursday, and I'm going, what? What even is? Oh no, this is my first day with feet. I don't know how any of this works.
This is my first day with feet, as in your first day having them.
Yep. So 100%. Just I've never done any of that. What even are arms? How do? Yeah, it's.
How do arms?
It's
How
whole
do
thing.
arms?
How do? I've learned ways that they shouldn't be bent, and when I say that, I don't mean that I'm like bending other people's arms bad ways, because that would imply that I'm good at jujitsu, which I'm not. I'm rank ass terrible. But I've learned how to have my arms bent certain ways, and so I've learned which ways hurt real bad, and I don't like it.
I remember back in the good old days, the glory days,
Yeah.
is when I was doing jiu-jitsu back years ago when I was a teenager. The amount of pain that was endured during training,
There are times. There are times.
especially because like sparring. Shout out to my homeboy Roy from back in the day. There were only a couple of us that our sensei would let us like train up against each other, and that's because even pulling our punches for sparring, we still hit the other kids too hard. Which was purely just a lack of control on our part. Like, we should have been better, but we weren't.
Teenagers with a lack of control? The hell you say?
And so like he would
on.
only like our Sifu would only, our Seabach would only let us train with each other or the other instructors, because with even pulling our punches, even with all the padding, we would still just wail on each other.
Yeah, you would.
And then when we were allowed to do submissions finally, I'm so surprised that we didn't break anything on each other ever, because that definitely was the tendency.
That's fair. It is.
'Cause, I mean, we were teenagers. Like, I didn't stop training until I was like 17, 18, so
Yeah.
And we were
Yeah,
like, I
there
think
are.
I started when I was like 10, I want to say, and we were there the entire time.
Yeah, expecting teenagers to have control. I just have low expectations there. Just
Yeah.
nice and low.
But speaking of
Not saying
expectations,
that's the
I
same.
don't have a
Yeah,
good segue with that. But you
good.
wanna
Go.
you wanna talk about non-spoilery character making things?
I would love to.
Yeah, because I have not looked at all at the 2024 books except for watching
It's
like other
pretty.
creators' reviews and such.
It's
So like I
pretty.
haven't I just bought them this morning because I finally got some more money.
I bought the pretty cover
Yeah,
because
because it's
shout
the
out to
pretty
Dreams
cover.
Friends. Shout out to Dreams Friends, my local game store that is a block and a half from my front door.
Also, just shout out to local game stores in general, man.
Yes, I love this neighborhood.
Especially all the
I can walk
different,
to so much
yeah,
stuff.
especially all the different local game stores that are unionizing, which is even better because we love worker protections.
I love
Um,
unions a lot.
anyway, so let's talk about this character that I've only given a first name so far.
Okay.
But
Now, is your character only going to have a first name like Cher?
no, I think
Okay.
although that would be funny, I think like he's still going to have a surname. He's
Sure.
definitely had to either make up or was given by someone else this surname. Because, and I'll give this little bit away for free, he definitely is an orphan because what adventurer has a happy backstory?
It makes it
Eh,
harder to be an adventurer when you have a happy backstory.
and I
Because
mean,
it's
yeah,
really
the
hard to
dead,
give them that
yeah,
motivation to go out on the road and risk their life.
yeah. And as much as I love having giving the game master other characters to bring in to raise the stakes, the other things that we've got planned for this character's story, it's necessary that if he has other family, he doesn't know about them.
Sure.
And that's still a thing that I give to you is like if my character has siblings or cousins or whatnot that's out there, he doesn't know it.
Well, don't you worry. Don't you worry. I'll have things in the world to hurt you.
See, you saying it like that, yeah, that makes me worry.
This is not something that anybody watching via Twitch or TikTok would really have any idea about. This is literally me asking you as a question of an audience of one. I just want to show you one of the pictures in the book.
Ooh.
That's the College of Glamour Bard. How much is that fucking reading Jamie's character Trixia to you?
I mean, that's exactly Jamie's character in that campaign that no one's seen online.
Which is a goddamn shame. But I'm
It
looking
really
at this
is.
going, I'm like, this is a just glammed out, blonde haired, half elf College of Glamour bard. And if that's a drag queen, then that's Jamie's character right there. Which
100%.
just a little thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you said you're going bard with this thing, I believe.
So with this campaign, I'm going back to our first game that we ever played,
Yep.
where I'm going a fighter multi-class that shouldn't work.
Fighter
And
mode. So how okay.
I still haven't fully decided how fighter and how bard Xavier, who's I'm naming him Xavier,
Yep.
mostly to set myself up with X gon' give it to you jokes. Shout out to the late great DMX.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah, I think story-wise, it makes sense if he was a fighter first,
Okay.
but that means that his time, by the time that he's level 2, would be the time that his connection... Ooh, Whitney's here. Hello, Whitney. We were talking
Hey,
about you earlier, and
Speaking of Whitney and She Shall Appear.
our good friend, the award-winning dice maker Whitney, known on here as Smoking Glue Guns. Hey, buddy. We were talking about
I
you,
heard-
Whitney, because we love you.
Yeah, we do.
And
I
we're
heard
proud of
dice.
you.
I I bought these with my actual money, and I love them.
We were talking about you because we love you and we're proud of you.
Yeah, no, legitimately, we're talking about this streamed campaign we're going to be starting doing. It's like, oh, we have friends who we would love to bring in to play a character for a game or two, and we were like, oh,
Yeah.
we always love playing with Whitney, and Whitney probably too busy being the absolute badass that she is. But if she's ever not too busy, we're gonna have you in for some games because you're fucking awesome.
You know, just so busy being amazing, making cosplays, making dice, going to all the cons to sell your dice, GMing your own actual play. Like, you're doing so much, buddy.
Yeah, and it's all so glorious.
Yeah. I mean, this, honestly, half of existence is just a Whitney fan account.
No, yeah, like for real, like 100%.
I did watch the first episode, Whitney. I haven't kept up because I'm a bad friend. No, it's just because I've been busy too.
No, the first episode was great. I'm at the same time where I watched the first one. I need to watch the rest because holy crap, it's fun.
It's such a fun ride. Speaking of fun rides, I'm playing a bard. No, no, he's absolutely not going to be that kind of bard. But but what we were saying before we slightly slid off track is that my connection to one of the other, oh yes, I want to see that busted bard build. My connection to one of the other characters in the party, he'll need to be a bard by the time of that connection.
Okay. So that means you're like level 2, you're gonna have to be 1 and 1 probably.
Yeah, level 2 I'd definitely be 1 and 1. Because my plan is to either go 1 and 1 the entire time that we're leveling up, or there's a chance that he might stop bard at level 3. I'm not certain yet. We'll have to just kind of see what happens.
I'm not certain you're ever going to play a character that's not just absolute cuckoo batshit bonkers, and I love you for it.
No, absolutely not. I'm
absolutely
devoted to the story first and optimization later.
Which is like, this is why I absolutely love players like you, because you don't go, oh, I'm going to make this stupid bullshit build that's not going to work and is going to be no fun to me or my ally. Because we've known people who do that, and if you do something that just performs so poorly that you can't get anything out of it, then what was the point? But also, like a lot of people would go, oh, I'm going to have this, I'll do a fighter with the entertainer background and use that as their thing. And you're like, nah, baby, fighter and bard.
If
or
I'm
they
gonna
go, oh,
if I'm gonna do some bard stuff, I'm gonna have bard abilities.
Which is great. Like, because 100%, if I was going to do what you would do, just because I so rarely multi-class, I would just be doing a College of Valor bard with the soldier background. 100%.
Oh yeah,
that's the way I would do it for myself, because that's the way I like to build characters.
It's also like
that's why I'm excited for this.
Yeah, even though we're doing the new book, I've played pure fighters before. I've played pure bards before. You know what I haven't played ever is a multi-class bard fighter. Because I've gotten,
I think there's some good synergy there.
Yeah, I've played so much of TTRPGs that I gotta be weird with it. I've also GM'd so much that I need to be weird with it. Like, I mean, making Swordle for campaign 2, dude, a Wave the 4 Elements monk multi-class with a divination wizard, that's weird, and it shouldn't work, but it absolutely does.
Yeah, what I'm really excited about is when I have time to start just because that new monster manual is going to come out in 3 months here, and once I get that, I can reskin all of those like I always do and just
like
change everything they can do. And I love to give character class features to monsters because y'all never see it coming, and it's great.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you think they're gonna give me an updated Bodak?
I don't want them to, but you know they will. Because actually looking
If
at some of the interviews and stuff, it's not out of the realm of possibility for them to have, because one of the things that they have been saying in interviews that they've done is they've filled out monster like families. And if Bodak's one of the ones that they chose to fill out, I don't think it'd be out of the realm of possibility for them to have like, different strengths of Bodak, like you have with vampires, where there's the spawn, like the vampire spawn, and the full vampire, and the vampire lord, and such like that.
Man, I don't know if or what all like the whole Orcus thing will have in the realm of this story.
Yeah,
But I'd be surprised if I don't shoehorn his ass in there somewhere just so
you
I can
love
have
Orcus so
Bodak.
much.
Well, yeah, I do. And then I loved him even more when I realized that Bodaks were attached to it, because that's the best monster. Because something that on a failed con save can just drop a character to 0 hit points instantly.
It's
God,
terrifying.
is that great?
It's terrifying.
Watch all of your players just collectively shit themselves. It's just
And look, if you ever pull out Bodaks, you better make sure it's a day that we're at your house.
we'll see. I mean, this, recording this, we'll all be doing this beautifully digitally, so you'll be able to poop
That's
safely
true.
at home. You'll
Yep.
be able to do that safely
with
at
me
home.
and my lovable bidet. Shout
That's
out to
right.
bidets. They're a great
Oh,
choice.
man. They really are.
Anyway, we get sidetracked so well. Our ADHD's
We do.
synergizing.
We do.
But so, if it works story wise, his Xavier's level 1 is gonna be fighter,
Okay.
because I think that would make sense when he's younger, scrappier.
Hungrier.
Yeah. Nope. So I think
He's not throwing away his shot, is what you're saying.
Look here. Also, purely from a mechanic standpoint, I want to take fighter first, so I have more of the proficiencies for weapons and such.
That makes sense.
You know.
So his history's on his side.
Nope. I'm not going along with you on this one. I'm going to be a bad improviser for a moment. But yeah, like I really just having the level 1 stuff from fighter, especially the weapon proficiencies and such, as well as like the weapon mastery, is going to be really nice right at the top, for whatever's beginnings are truly, without spoilers, so that you have to jump on to either the Dice Jailers YouTube channel or Twitch channel and watch our episodes whenever they come out in probably January 2025 or maybe February, depending on how quickly we get ourselves together.
Somewhere in all that.
Yeah. But I just think fighter's a good way to start. And the bard will come in later. But I don't think the bard would come in that far away, at least like timeline wise.
I'm just snooping at with the Two of Mars. So I guess it would kind of really depend on what you're looking to get your subclass in first, on what you take your next level in. Though, man, if you go 1-1-1-1-1-1, you could be at character level 5 before you even hit a subclass.
Yeah, I think like looking at the story, it would make sense most to go like a level of fighter, 3 levels in bard, then continue in fighter.
Okay.
Just because he'll, after the actual like story of our campaign kicks off, he'll pretty much have stopped barding around.
Fair.
Part of his bard time. Yeah. Keep going.
You have to figure out which background you're going with on the character.
Yeah.
Too.
I was thinking we may have to make a custom one, but explaining why would be story stuff. I'm trying
Don't mind
so
me.
hard.
I'm I did ADD and all that because I had the Whitney dice sitting up here and they're pretty and they're staring at me. I'm now rolling my pretty D20 off camera.
How's it rolling?
It's very it's you know what? It's got peaks and valleys, man. It's either single digit or it's high teens right now.
We
Oh,
do
there's the
love
natural
peaks and
20.
valleys.
There's the natural 20. I'm through away.
But yeah, I'm going with I think at least for the level 1, going with fighter. Because I definitely want to have both at least a level in both fighter and bard before we do that level 3 start.
I'm not mad at that.
Because like to make because the I guess there's a couple backstory things that I can say without them being like super spoilery because it's
Sure.
just kind of what it is about the character. But my at least my plans, and this all might change by the time we record, but my plans is that when we meet up with Xavier, he has been traveling around as mostly a bard, but also, hey, I'll kill the rats in your cellar. Just kind of think Bard's Tale the game, if you remember those.
Okay.
That kind of
yes.
Yeah, that kind of energy of just I'm going around doing whatever I can to make money to just live. And if that means doing a little mercenary work, then yeah. But also if it's just hanging out in the tavern performing, I'm gonna do that.
A little bit of merc work.
Yeah. A little bit of merc work.
A little bit of merc work, but picked up the barding so he can also twerk.
I knew you were headed somewhere that way.
Yeah.
But like I think it's if we do start to make merch, merc work, MERQ, WERQ, then maybe on the lower back and twerk.
Don't rule it out. Not rule it out.
My mom's got a screen printer. We could get that done. Or we could go over to shout out to Vera Project in Seattle. Great place for the youth and a great stage. And also they have their own merch shirts that you can hire them to make a short run amount of shirts for you. So maybe that's an option. And it's not that expensive either.
Yeah.
Anyway,
once we know a little bit more about Xavier, it'll be a little easier for me to put them in this whole world here, because this city here, Cladborough, that I know that's where you guys are starting this story from.
Yeah.
We're starting in this massive military-run city. Mm-hmm. It's not an accident that that's the city. I have the most details written on.
Yeah.
It has a lot. Like, this is,
and I think
all of these links going along with it. It's where where you start.
Yeah. Just with like all the other things that I'm planning for Xavier's story, that because he's just traveling all around, the only really thing that we need to figure out is figuring out where he like grew up at, rather than like where he is now, because I wandered into town because I'm trying to find another job, simple as that.
There are a couple places that he could have sort of grown up.
Probably not from the Pirate Islands though, huh?
No, he's not over here from the town of Ashport.
As much as I want to start off just being like, "Yep, I was a kid pirate." Like, nah, man, no.
If you guys make it down to the Rainbow Islands, that'll be fun. But you're certainly not starting there. Because I'm going to need time to flesh that shit out. And the other thing is, I know you. And if I let a party with you in it start on an island with the need for you to sail east to the mainland, you will take that boat west so fast.
Yeah, I will.
To a land I haven't even created. Now I have no. Here's the fun thing. This whole thing you see, this whole big old map, This is not even all the outline notes that I have for this campaign. I have more, and I'm going to use them. Some of them are off the map to the north, some of
Yeah.
them are off the map to the west, and some of them might be off the map to the east. South, we don't need to worry about.
Yeah.
South, we don't
I
need
mean,
to worry about.
no, I'm not gonna make that joke. That's fine. But I'm thinking at least for starting stuff as the fighter, having survival proficiency makes sense. Acrobatics proficiency makes sense because he's going to be a dex fighter. Because
You're
when
going to
have
play
I
a Dex character? The hell. I'm
look
so
here,
shocked.
look here,
Wow.
you,
I'm so floored. I hear.
look here, you. I've I think one of the funny things with my character creation is because of all the time we've spent together. I only let myself play high constitution characters when you're not around.
Oh, have that backup. Have that backup ready. Have that
Look, no matter
backup
how many
ready
hit
to
points I
go.
have, you're gonna crit me twice in the same fight, and I'm gonna go down.
Yeah.
So
It's gonna
it
be. And
doesn't matter.
do you know what the best part about that is? Is it's really funny to me when it happens. I get to laugh.
Dude, it's hilarious to me later once I'm done freaking
Sure.
out that I might expire.
Oh. No,
But my backup characters are excited.
my absolute. I do love it best the times when we do get to play in person, when I crit on you a ridiculous number of times, just so I can let everyone see the die. I'll just get up and walk away from my DM station, and I will have people look to verify. Because yes, for the people who don't know me, yes, I am one of those DMs who likes to roll in private. I think it adds drama. Damn it. Your
And it
DMs aren't
does.
fudging everything when they roll stuff. Good gods. I've run entire campaigns without fudging a single roll and kept everything hidden. It's fun, and it allows me to narrate when the moment happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm selfish like that. Like
Yeah, you
I
are.
want to have the dramatic moment. I want to be what makes you
Yeah.
guys react. Now
But
there'll be
yeah.
times where I'll do public digital rolls every now and then if I remember to toggle that. I probably won't.
Yeah, but who remembers to do that stuff? But I'm
Fuck, not me.
thinking dueling fighting style, that makes sense. Rapier buckler kind of thing. Just for that little bit of swashbuckly kind of feel.
If you want, I will allow you. This just depends on what you want to
Yeah.
wield. I will allow you to reflavor your buckler as a parrying dagger if you feel like rapier and dagger would be more. Now you can't use it as a dagger.
As a dagger, yeah.
Like you can't be like, okay, well, my offhand I'm going to like, no, you still have to go by
Yeah.
the mechanics of the rules that say you got to be having a light weapon in each hand.
Mhm.
However,
I mean,
totally would give the +2 AC if you're like, no, I'm gonna use it just as a parrying dagger. Great.
for 5th edition, it's just shield, so
Yep.
eh.
It can be lots of things.
I would
but
love to flavor that as a parrying dagger.
we probably will.
Or
We
like-
probably will.
Or like a little cape to
I'm
get
fine
like all
with that.
flourishy with it, and it's just like all traps and captures for the AC
If
benefit.
you want to be rapier and cloak, I'm fine with that. Like
We'll figure
it's-
something out. It'll be fun.
We can reflavor anything we want because that's my favorite thing about the rules is they can be whatever the fuck I want them to be.
Absolutely.
I'm running the game, so I get to decide
Yeah.
what a lot of things are. That's fun because that's the most important thing is I just want my games to be fun.
So I'm looking here at weapon mastery. Now I have not
Yes.
actually looked at that mechanic. So I'm very curious, Bjorn, what
Yeah.
what you know about that. Cuz
So-
when you're have mastery in a weapon now, you have like another thing you can do with it.
Yes, my goodness. So they added properties to weapons, and it's really cool to me because it makes it that not all martials are exactly the same. And so if you look under mastery, you will see cleave, graze, nick, push, sap, slow, topple, and vex. So, for example, my favorite weapon, the Great Axe, which no barbarian should be without, those
Yeah.
have cleave. And so if you have the mastery, you can take that cleave feature. So when you hit a creature with a melee attack, you can then make a melee attack roll with the weapon against a second creature within 5 feet of the first that you hit that's also within your reach. On a hit, it takes the weapon's damage, but you don't get to add your ability modifier. And it says you can make this extra attack once per turn. But if you get, if you have a bunch of minions like run up on the barbarian and they have that ability, like as a DM, you get to allow them to feel really badass. Or
Yeah,
if you
because
are
you can
playing that
just
barbarian,
slice through all of them at once.
yeah, it's fun. So
That's kind of slick.
Yeah, so looking at doing this here, the rapier, for example, that one's got
Yeah, it has Vex.
If you deal damage to that creature, you have advantage on your next attack roll before the end of your next turn. Now, at low levels, that's not so great because you've only got the one attack, right?
Yeah.
But once you have extra attack, that means you would have advantage on that one. And here's what can be really
That's
fun.
super cool.
A short sword also has the Vex property. So maybe until you get to a higher level, maybe instead of a rapier, maybe you want to have a short sword and just reflavor it as a rapier and then actually have a dagger in your offhand. So then you could use that bonus action to make the attack and it would be at advantage. Just lots of little things to think about.
I mean,
daggers.
That's really cool synergy for rogues.
Yep.
Set yourself up with advantage so you can sneak attack next round.
Yeah. Well, and then here's the other real fun thing. So I mentioned that the whole short sword and dagger, right? This is where you start to get into some of these properties working together. So use your short sword to attack, you get the Vex property. Cool. Your next attack roll has advantage. Well, the dagger has the Nick property.
Ooh.
Nick, when you make the extra attack of the light property, you can make it as part of the attack action instead of the bonus action, meaning you keep your bonus action. So think about how useful that can be for rogues in particular. You attack with your short sword, you have advantage on the next one, take your advantage with the dagger, but you still have your bonus action. You could then cunning action, disengage
and
dash,
run.
all sorts of things you could do. So the weapon mastery stuff, there's a lot of stuff in there that's really, really fun, and it adds so much more flavor to what your character can do. Yeah. And now weapons mean more than just, is it bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage?
Yeah.
Now you're looking at those additional properties. And as a fighter, it says you get 3 masteries. And I think it's after every rest, you can change those out. So you're like, okay, I'm going to have mastery in this, this, and this. And it's going to be mostly what you're equipped with. So, but still, having those additional properties is friggin' massive. Yeah,
it's really cool that you can
fun with that.
It's really cool that you can switch them as a fighter. You can switch them up.
Yeah, I think you do that with most martial classes. I know barbarians can do it too.
Ooh.
Though, I mean, again, if I'm playing said barbar, it's just going to be
it's always going to be great axe. Like
it's just hand axes. That's what I'm going to throw. And like maybe some javelins if I need to throw something for a longer range.
Yeah,
but if something is far enough away as a barbarian that you're reduced to throwing javelins at it, you're not having a fun time in that combat anyways.
Yeah. I think with my 3, I'm going to go rapier, longbow, and because I can't, like, look, it's never going to come up. Sure. I'm never going to use this as a weapon. This is mostly just for your wife, because it will make her laugh. But my other proficiency is gonna be in whip.
Fair. I thought you were gonna say gun for a minute there. Like,
no,
sure.
I didn't.
Like, hey,
I didn't know if we were gonna have them.
Of course, I'm gonna have guns. Like, black powder is a lot older than a lot of us fantasy nerds realize, and they have stats for guns in there, and they're not going to be common.
Yeah.
Also, I have fucking pirates in my world, and if you think
you're not going to have pirates without muskets and such.
No, they gotta. My pirates have to have flintlock pistols. I'm sorry, they just
Yeah,
absolutely have to. I
I
can't
don't know.
not have that.
I'll start with whip, and then we might shift to revolver later.
Sure. That would, and it would be completely dependent on you finding one because they're
Yeah,
not going to be common, but they're
obviously.
gonna exist. Like it's too fun to not have.
Yeah. So we've got the backgrounds, which is next, and
Yep.
here's where things are gonna get a little shenanigans, because I could
You have
do
my
something.
attention.
I could do something that's a little spoilery, and pick a background that is specifically attached to the lineage that he doesn't know he has,
Oh.
or I go charlatan because he's been an orphan for a long time and he's had to grow up by himself on the streets. I don't think criminal would make sense because he's more of an upstanding. I'm going for still more of a good guy.
Okay. Good.
Definitely less morally gray than my last character.
Yeah. Yeah. I would. I'm not going to tell you your business. I would kind of lean you towards charlatan for a few reasons. I think it works well with your character. Plus,
Mm-hmm.
the base feat you get skilled. It's you can't have enough people with proficiencies
Yeah. Oh,
in the
that's true.
party.
I forgot that the backgrounds have so much more now. Because I was
And the
thinking just
backgrounds
pure story wise, not like what they give you.
ba- backgrounds also tie into what ability scores you can increase, my dude.
Ooh, then that's kind of important for me to look at.
Dexterity, con, charisma with charlatan. Those are the three you can increase.
So I'm going Dex and Charisma with that.
I know you do. I know you are.
I also
But
I see.
that's the other reason why I encourage it is because it's got Dex and Charisma, which are two
Yeah.
real important. Because the only ones with Dex and Charisma are Charlatan, Entertainer, and that might be and Wayfarer.
Yeah. I was also thinking about Entertainer.
Hmm?
To give me, those little level 1 Entertainer things before I full go into, a level of Bard.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to know what's in the guide background, so I'm going to pull that up and look. And that's, you get the Magic Initiate Druid feat from that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's wild, and at some point I'm going to need to remake my first ever D&D character that I made back in 3.5, back in 2011, using this background, because that's dang
Oh
near
yeah.
perfect for him. But that's for future
Oh,
me.
there's some great stuff. Like if you take Sage, which is Con, Intelligence, Wisdom, so
Mm-hmm.
perfectly built for wizards, they
Magic
get
Initiate Wizard.
which is so great. You get a couple extra cantrips. You get a
Mm-hmm.
spell that you can cast once per day without expending a spell slot. Hello, Mage
Love
Armor.
that. Yeah, 100%.
And call accuse me of power gaming if you want. I don't fucking care. Why would I use anything but Mage Armor? I'm an
Yeah.
adventuring wizard. It's a spell you should have. Oh look, it's not going to cost me one of my precious spell slots to put this on me every day.
Like the only reason I think of that you wouldn't do that is like if you were playing as a turtle.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, or maybe you're like, you know what? I'm going to use it on Featherfall. So then it's always ready.
Like
And
if you
it's
were if you were born on a if you were born and raised on a skyship.
or if you're just doing some Eberron stuff and it's, you live in Sharn.
Yep. We do love us a flying city.
And just because there are no flying cities on this map that I've currently shared with you doesn't mean there might not be one somewhere in this world.
What, you don't want to have another campaign with 2 major flying cities in it?
I love our 2 flying cities, but there are times where I actually have to remind myself that the city is flying. Like you guys have been in the Imperial capital, and I'll have a minute where I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, this MFer's flying, so I need to not forget that. Or I say flying. It hovers in just the one spot, but
Yeah.
we call it a flying city. It's not.
I mean, it's
it's
more
not
of a floating
scooting around
city.
the continent. Yeah, it's not scooting around the continent. Not saying it can't. Not saying it can't. Just saying it's
But
currently
it
not.
currently doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Charlatan gives me deception and sleight of hand. The only thing that I really want, well, I guess with skilled I could take, because I don't want to have, not proficiency in performance.
Yeah, skilled. There it is.
Yeah, skilled. Just, you know.
Skilled is one of my favorite damn like base feats. It's so good. Just
Huh.
utterly delightful.
There's a new feat that's just musician, though.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's
Proficiency with
a thing.
musical instruments and heroic inspiration. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I get it thematically, but mechanically, skilled is more useful.
Yeah, it's one of those where you're like, okay, cool. You can give some people inspiration.
Yeah,
great.
That'd be a cool way to make like the wandering samurai that plays a flute trope. I think that
Yes.
would be a good way to get that in. But
Agreed.
yeah, I think you're right. Charlatan's probably the way to go, unless for some reason.
I will say of the origin feat, the one that I really love, the glow up it got, is alert. Now, you no longer get that +5 to it. And now you get to add your proficiency bonus, which at high levels will be higher than +5.
Oh yeah.
But it has initiative swap. Immediately after you roll initiative, you can swap your initiative with the initiative of one willing ally in the same combat. You can't do it if they're incapacitated, but how great is it if you have somebody who has alert and, okay, you have your paladin who dumped dex because they are wearing heavy armor. And again, if I'm playing a paladin, I am wearing heavy armor and I'm absolutely dumping dexterity.
Yeah, you don't need dex from heavy if you're wearing heavy armor like that.
No use for it. But it's very often we have our paladin going last, and there are combats where you're like, man, I wish our tank was up there. Now, if you have somebody in the party who has that, and maybe they roll high and they get to say, hey, guess what, paladin? You can go first if you want.
That's not bad.
I think alert got a massive glow up with that change.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's a little thing that I love. Yeah, big fan.
Now, I'm not going to do this, but
go on.
I did just see that Merchant gives you the lucky feat, which has been changed a bit.
Lucky. Yeah.
I know, but I don't want to set up especially if we get the fan base watching the next season of Dice Jailers Campaign 2. If we, I don't want to have the lucky feat in a thing online because I don't want to deal with people going, man, lucky's overpowered. Like, one, it's not, and two, shut up.
It's just advantage. It's just advantage. It's the same people who said silvery barbs is overpowered. I still don't think it is. I never did. I never will. I'm sorry.
It's not overpowered. It's just good.
Reaction. It's great. It's great. And some spells are just better than others.
Yeah.
Like you look at third level spell. Fireball is better than most of them. It is. And that's okay.
Personally, unlike a lot of the internet, I prefer lightning bolt to fireball. But that's because, especially the DMs that I usually play with, they are hyper aware of fireball, so they won't put anything in a clump. But they'll give me some sweet lines.
You can't prepare for every spell. It just can't be done. It can't be done. And frankly, if you are the DM preparing for every spell, what are you doing with your life? Come on.
You can let a player be good at stuff.
I think it's important to challenge your players. And the last game we played, that encounter we had where everybody got dropped except Jamie's barbarian, who was at 1 effing hit point, which I still had my bonus action use Crown of Stars, and it was one of those rare moments of me rolling in front of all of you because I knew you'd never believe me if I missed.
Yeah.
And
it was wild that you missed.
And you all saw it, but that was a great session of really challenging you, having this mage I created that was powerful, that was difficult, that really utilized the Matt Colville school of creating badass villains. Shout out Matt Colville.
Yeah. Matt Colville's
But
amazing.
I just Phoenix regrets introducing me to his stuff. He does,
Yeah,
and I
because
understand
now
that.
Phoenix
Because
has to fight
I,
all of Matt Colville's stuff that use Matt Colville's tips and tricks that you use.
I just rip his stuff off as any person should when they're encouraged to by somebody creating product. But it's fucking great. But also, one of my favorite pieces of advice I've been given as a DM, and I love it every time I see it, and I try and live by it. Sometimes you should just create situations for certain characters to shine, where okay, this player is going to kick the shit out of this puzzle or this monster or this situation, and they get to feel like a hero. And that's fun because I have a never-ending supply of monsters.
We can always throw more monsters at a thing. Like,
yeah. Like, the only thing I would say is, don't like have your big bad evil get totally tripped up like that, especially if you form an emotional attachment to them, like I do.
Like you
also,
did
I will
with.
say,
I'm gonna go get.
I'm gonna go get my boy. Yeah, he's good. This is wonderful. This beautiful piece of art that's got my boy on it. One of my favorite characters I've ever created.
I did not write down the name of the artist that made this for us forever ago. But I know Phoenix would still have it. Yeah.
Yeah, he would.
But this, it's gonna blur like the background. It's not gonna. Yeah. Oh well, it's not gonna show. But it's a big old portrait of our first campaign that we constantly talk about, even though no one's ever seen it because we didn't record any of it. But Bjorn became so attached to that lovable villain that we all hated so much.
My necromancer.
Our big character
I played a
portrait
dirge run on Baldur's Gate 3 as that necromancer Tregtar. I played full evil dirge. Full evil. I massacred the Grove, baby.
That must have been difficult for you as a person to do.
It was really so I had tried to play some Dark Urge runs, and I was still playing them like a good character because that's how I play games. And but I know there's all this content if you play it pure evil, and I had heard it's like, oh, you know they've added even more evil endings, and so I finally just went, fucking what? I am going to take a villain that's totally evil that I played as a DM. Let's run it as them. And at that point, I had no problem killing whoever indiscriminately. Just not a problem. It was pretty great. Not gonna lie, it's pretty great.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I finally. Also, while we've been talking about this, I finally picked my skilled feats or my skilled skills.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to make a lot of things make sense. I'm going performance, insight, persuasion. Because, like, I already get deception from Charlatan. Yep. I get sleight of hand, which I might use a little bit. Probably not a whole lot.
Some.
But maybe it's... I mean, honestly, if I do it, it'll be for, like, close-up magic. Because why would I not do close-up magic tricks as an entertainer? Look, I just need one of the shorter character species alongside me that is a mute, so that I can Penn and Teller it.
Oh no! Oh no! I love this and I hate this at the same time. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's
like Saint and I'll probably do that for a one shot at some point.
Yes, I see this. I see this happening completely.
I mean, it goes in line with our two dwarf siblings idea that we made. That was, we were gonna do two dwarf siblings. This was in either 3.5 or Pathfinder, with the leadership feat. So we had a squire, and we convinced our GM to let us share a squire if we could have the leadership feat at an earlier level, because that squire was our younger brother.
Oh no. So were you just three idiots who passed around to a single brain cell?
Yeah.
So basically it's like you, me, and Nathan going anywhere.
Kinda. We also had a
Yeah.
whole thing with our characters, like the specific like weapon that was on our family crest was a cane sword.
Okay.
So we're a bunch of young dwarves pretending to be old men with canes.
It's so stupid that I love it. This is just
Yeah. We're gonna be like, like 40 and 30-year-old dwarves with a 20-year-old younger sibling
this is amazing. This makes me
acting
very
like
happy.
300-year-old dwarves.
Makes me very happy. Absolutely delightful.
Yeah. I've had some great character plans with Saint that have ended up not happening just because of time and schedules.
Sure.
Like Horserer, who I had made in 3.5 almost to rules as written. The only thing that I needed to like go outside of rules as written was to convince our GM to let part of my backstory be that he has been true polymorphed. Because the witch that he was dating got a perhaps false premonition that he was going to cheat on her. And since he was going to be a horse's behind, he might as well have one.
So he became the Horserer.
Yeah, and so he was already a sorcerer. So then in taking flaws and traits, being able to cast without using somatic components, because, hooves, as well as the teamwork feats of bonded mind and special delivery, so that you could bond with another PC as though they were a familiar and cast spells through them.
I don't know why I always forget when you talk about the Horserer. I always forget that it's a horse and not a centaur.
Yep. He's just a horse. And then Saint was gonna play a barbarian who,
God.
like, we were paired together. I would cast my spells through him with the teamwork feats, bonded mind, and special delivery. And because my character's smart enough, realized it's just easier to let that barbarian think that I'm a magic horse than try to make him understand that I was a person that had been turned into a horse.
Amazing.
We've had a lot of wild ideas.
The thing is, this isn't a bad one. This isn't a bad one because it gives your character like a long-term goal is to get unhorsified. Like,
And of course, it would have to be some convoluted thing rather than just finding someone else to re-true polymorph you or having someone greater restoration it or something like that. Like, no, you gotta make up a whole curse-breaking kind of thing.
yeah, no, this is more. This is a witch's curse. You gotta be like really dedicated to that shit.
Exactly.
Oh
And
man,
also,
this will be a whole new campaign. This will be a whole new opportunity for cursed items for you guys.
yeah, man.
Oh man.
You ready to give us a cursed item that, again, my character would not shy away from?
We'll see.
Well,
I love cursed items.
the amount of times you've given my characters items that have given him a voice in their head.
Twice now.
Yep. If I had a nickel for every time, it'd only be 2 nickels, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens again. Because I love sentient cursed items.
I don't know.
I love sentient items. They don't always have to be cursed, but I love sentient magic items.
I don't know. Xavier might have a bit more of a self-preservation instinct.
You could have the best self-preservation instinct. You don't know what the fuck's cursed.
Yeah, that's true.
Identify doesn't tell you that shit.
But I mean, in our last campaign on Dice Jailer's either YouTube or Twitch, I'm just gonna keep plugging our own stuff.
As you should.
But like the reasoning that I took that cursed item was because, oh yeah, he grew up in Magic Military Academy. He would know that sometimes the best way to figure out what a magic item is just to grab onto it and see what happens, because usually there's someone nearby that can remove that curse.
Not when the DM specifically has it that you have to make a wisdom save, which you dumped
Yep,
to
I sure did.
be able to reveal any truth about it.
He was a 17/18-year-old child soldier. Of course he dumped wisdom.
Man, that was great. That was great.
Uh, of course I dumped wisdom for that one.
It was. I also just enjoyed, and I will always enjoy the amount of times that the other players would just look and seethe both at you and I, because they knew this thing was cursed as fuck, but their characters didn't.
Oh,
And
they
I loved
knew it was.
reminding them.
They knew it was
like,
cursed. I knew it was cursed.
Yeah.
You knew it was cursed.
Yeah.
The American public knew it was cursed.
Oh yeah. Couldn't say anything about it not until you made that save.
Nope. And it took a good in-game week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had to keep feeding that thing blood.
sure did. Which I love the creative way that my character came up with it is, hey, why don't we just spar for a second and it's to the first blood.
Yep. Yep. Hey, so whatever you got to do sometimes to get to just survive. That was
man.
That was great. And then you guys got the thing destroyed, but it freed the Blood Witch.
Yeah.
And that fight just happened.
We could have done that better.
Well, that was also like my dice rolls as well, because I did
That's
the 3
true.
rolls for the curse breaking, and I rolled that natural 1, and
I mean, we
This
could
is where
have
me-
done more to give bonuses to that curse breaking.
sure, but nothing undoes that natural 1. And when I saw that 1, I looked long and hard, and the part of me that's a nice person went, do I tell them what I roll? Yeah, I'm going to, because
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't in good conscience
I'm a bad
hit us with that.
liar, man.
Which is
I don't
weird
know
because
how
you're such a good actor.
But acting is about truth. Acting
You're
is about
right.
truth. I will die on that fucking hill.
You are very correct.
It is about truth.
But
And
I
don't understand how DMs can fudge dice rolls so well. Because if I ever tried to do it, I would you guys would know instantly I was lying. I'm like, yeah, it's a 14. I know how badly
I know
it
that
would
I
come
have
off.
before. I've fudged rolls to not just completely murk people right in the first round. I've done that. I've never fudged an out of combat dice roll, and I've also
I think
never fudged as a GM. I've never fudged a dice roll to be in my favor.
No, I would never do that. That's the closest I've come to fudging anything is I know I have conveniently forgotten about an ability before.
Yeah.
Fully confess to that, where I have known I could unleash this and TPK these motherfuckers. And that's not so much out of kindness to you all, that is sometimes more where I'm like, the writing I'm going to have to do if I do that.
You're gonna have to basically just pull out Descent to Avernus and...
Yeah, I'm like, all right, we'll use a different ability, so I'll drop half of them, not all of them, because
Time swap Meteor Storm, or Time stop Meteor Swarm.
yeah, I'm just like, I don't.
Oh, it's so mean, but it's so fun.
Oh. So funny you mentioned Time Stop. That is right at the center of the beginning of this story.
Of course it is. It's too good.
Yeah.
Time Stop is too good of a spell for, as a storytelling tool as a GM. If you're running stuff, specifically in D&D, Time Stop is so useful storytelling-wise.
Yeah, I never had a big love for it until I kind of came up with a few ideas of what to do with it, because at first I was like, I don't get why anyone would actually love this spell. I was like, oh no, it's got some uses.
No,
I've had my favorite.
I've had NPCs, NPC casters, use Time Stop without the party really knowing. so that they could cast some other spells in a quick amount of time.
Sure.
But then, like, the payoff for the party is now that NPC doesn't have the spell slot they need to teleport away.
Yeah. Yeah. Here, I'll just give you a little peek into some of where this is starting. Professor Ibrahim Zorandus, a wizard of the highest order, has just made a very significant arcane discovery
Abraham Zorandus.
Ibrahim.
Ibrahim. You just couldn't
Ibrahim
give us
Zorandus.
you couldn't give us an NPC where we could hooked on phonics out how to spell that name, huh?
It's not going to be named Jeff. Look, Ibrahim Zorandus is not the biggest mouthful of a name, even in this paragraph.
Oh,
Don't
dear
worry.
Lord. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so Professor Zorandus has learned how to stop time itself for a few seconds. Now, this has sent some shockwaves not only through the magical community, but also through the political climate of various nations as well. Crown Bearer Bruvan Duskrorin. See, there it is.
One more time.
Bruvan Duskrorin.
Bruvan Duskrorin.
Bruvan. How do you think Bruvan is spelled?
I don't. With you, I can never know.
Let's just. You want the hook? Let's just play for a sec. Bruvan.
All right.
See, how would you spell
let's say Bruvan. If we're going Midwest white family, it's BRUVAGHN.
Well, BRUVAN.
Oh, it's actually easier.
Yes. Duskrorin.
Please, is it just something like DUSKRRORAN?
I mean, you're not far off. DUSK, yes. RORYN.
Oh. All right. Throw in a Y. Throw in a fantasy Y.
I'm trying to keep the apostrophes to a minimum this time.
I mean, but that's the elf thing. Just 10 million apostrophes in names.
Well, I use them more with the orcs.
That's true.
And there's a entire nation that's mostly orcs and dwarves.
I love that.
Yeah.
Ooh, does that mean going along with the new official art that they're all vaqueros?
Not all of them, but a lot of them are.
I love that.
Look, you know there's going to be some like heavy Viking influence in my orcs.
Oh, for sure.
I'm me. Like,
I mean, your name is Bjorn, for God's sakes.
It's like I'm yeah. So the Crown Bearer Bruvan Duskrorin has put a complete ban on all forms of chronomancy and has ordered Professor Zorandus to be brought in for questioning. The professor, however, seems to have disappeared entirely and has not been heard from in weeks. On the heels of this, the Alluvial dynasty, which is the place that the Crown Bearer is the head of, is putting political pressure on the Kingdom of Zuria, which is the nation you all will start in, to follow suit and outlaw all forms of chronomancy altogether. And that is the political tension underneath the beginning of this story.
That's kind of cool. That's really cool. I'm digging that.
So basically what it's all going to kind of come down to in this is of this map here. Let's just fit screen on it. You can see what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. So where you see this river run along here.
Yes.
Everything to the northwest of that is the Kingdom of Zuria, where you all will begin. That is under the rule of Queen Sira Halan. This little chunk down here, so to the south of that river, and then where this river runs southward, this over here, that's
I'm sorry, that's so hard for the audience to see.
Yeah, I know. So basically the southwest corner of the map is what's known as the Unbroken Nation. That's where you're going to find your more like bestial type of humanoids. So you'll find like Leonin and Tabaxi and Gnolls and stuff like that. You'll still find your more standard humanoids, human, dwarf, elf, tiefling, blah, blah, blah. You'll find everything everywhere, but they are separate from the main geopolitical climate of the other three nations. Your central nation is the Alluvial dynasty. They are mostly high elves, ruled by a crown bearer that is through lineage. Like they pass the crown to the next in line. It is a dynasty. That is
Okay.
how they are ruled. Whereas the Kingdom of Zuria, well, they do have a queen. The queen is an elected position.
And are we going?
So
Is this world in this world? Are we going for crown bearer as like the usual title of someone that would be like an emperor, some kind of monarch?
yeah, it's
Okay.
it's their fancy word for emperor.
Okay. Great.
I was doing my whole, let's roll through a thesaurus, and I was like, crown bearer. I like that.
That is pretty cool.
Sounds.
I do dig that.
And then when you get east of the mountains here, you get to the smallest of the nations in terms of landmass, and that is the Costonian Empire. And that is currently ruled by Emperor Gror Costone, who is an orc.
Okay.
And they are completely at odds with the Central Elvish dynasty. These two sides do not like each other. They are in the middle of a fucking Cold War. Like this
Okay.
is very like it's romanticized.
I just put up a little text on the
US
screen.
Russia.
Just for the audience, I put up a little text on the screen. That's where you can find our other episodes of stuff that we've done and follow us other places. I realized that it's just not there for people that are like joining and leaving and joining and leaving. They might not know
Smart
where to
together.
find our other stuff because I'm good at advertising. Anyway, tell us more of this story.
So yeah, they're like it's a very like the way that the Cold War is told in a romanticized way. Like we're not in the actual muck and grossness because this is a fantasy world, and I'm not going to get involved in stuff that's depressing to think about so much.
Fair.
But those two nations are very, very much at odds and don't really like each other. The nations on the outside, so the Costonian Empire in the east and the Kingdom of Zuria in the west, they get along just fine, and they have some trade with each other. But that trade is very difficult because you can't really do it via the land because you have to go right through the dynasty to do that. And it's hard to do it via water because you got to sail right near the dynasty to do it. So if the dynasty decides they're going to do things like set up blockades, that could be a problem. And that's sort of how they're going to be putting pressure on the Kingdom of Zuria to go in with this chronomancy ban, is they're like, look, we haven't said anything about the fact that you have trade relations with a nation we consider an enemy. If you don't go in with us on this,
Okay.
we're going to have to set up blockades. We're going to have to stop. We're going to have to stop you from trading with them because
Okay.
we're not okay with that. And so where this begins is going to be sort of where has this professor gone? Like, where is he? He is one of the most powerful and renowned mages in the entire continent. And, he figured out how to stop time. So he basically published his notes and papers on this, where he's like, oh my goodness, it's doable. And what the dynasty is basically saying is they're going, look, there is a mage that has figured out how to stop time itself. Now, we already know there's magics where we can cause things to slow down, like the slow spell, or speed up, the haste spell. They're going, the next step after this is literally manipulation of time and being able to literally go backwards in time. And that's what they're afraid of, is they're going, if somebody could go back in time and change events, that's horrifying. And so they're going, nope, we're done. There'll be nothing else going forward. And there are mages kind of speaking out against this, going, hey, we get what you're saying, and going back in time would be a really, really bad thing. But just because you say you're not allowed to do this doesn't mean someone isn't. And they're like, we need to be aware of who is trying to do this. Because if the wrong person is the one who figures out how to do this, that's when it's bad. They're like, we need the top minds to be aware so we know what to look for, and some of that is sort of inspired by like it's a fucked up thing from history, but we take inspiration from all sorts of places. It's inspired largely by the Manhattan Project,
Word.
where it was the race of making sure that the Allies made the bomb before the Axis.
Right.
Like, that was like that was the race, and so
Yeah.
this is a little inspired by that. Again, romanticized because we
you've
call
got
it fantasy for a reason.
yeah,
and
you're not gonna just make it a 1-to-1 because also then people would see the ending coming.
yeah. So that'll be kind of where it all begins. And so even though like chronomancy, there are no chronomancy spells in the new player's handbook, which I'm requiring all you guys to create your characters out of it because I want to use this cool fresh start. What it's going to allow for that I think is really fun is actual creation of a chronomancy school of magic by me, which I'm going to have fun doing. And there may be a point where some of these spells come up when you guys hit some higher levels, and it's, what do you do about that if you learn them? And fuck, you guys are going to have a wizard in your party.
That's true.
What happens when a wizard gets an opportunity to learn this knowledge or write down this
we
knowledge?
love giving people a chance for a forbidden spell, so to speak.
Yeah, and it's a fun place for choices, and of course there'll be plenty of other things that happen as far as what kicks things off, who become prominent NPCs, who become villains, where this professor ended up, who they are associated with. But your earliest mission, it'll be pretty simple. It's not going to be too dire. Like I want to keep things as simple as possible before it all kind of kicks up. But I can also promise somewhere in this story there will be some Feywild shit that happens.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Speaking
bring
of
some Fey
Feywild
stuff into it.
I mean, that's my little elf man. I mean, he's probably not going to be little. I'm probably going to
No.
Look, unless I'm playing a character that's exceptionally short, I'm gonna be tall and hot, man. And that's why Xavier, I'm going with elf. Also,
Now,
because we talked about things.
Yeah. Are you dumping intelligence so you can be dumb and hot?
Maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna go with a true dump stat this time. Actually, I think I'm gonna be okay with this. With Xavier being more of that jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing, where like my dump stat's not gonna be like a dump stat, but also my best stat's not gonna be that great at the start.
Sure. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the point buy for stats this time around, or standard array if people want it. Not gonna do the heroic array this time because again, I really want to try this new set of
book
rules
as written.
As written. I really want to try a lot of it as brand new. And well, yeah, you know me. I'm gonna tweak a few things. So
I know that we talked about this.
It'll take a lot of inner strength for me not to put Counterspell back to 2014. It'll take a lot of effort.
The updated...
And that's just because I'm an asshole who loves Counterspell. I like your guys.
You like to Counterspell Revivify.
I haven't done that yet.
That's true, but I know you've wanted to.
I Counterspelled Healing Word on a downed character.
And you counterspelled a mass healing word.
Yeah, I'll do it again. If any of you are foolish enough to cast a resurrection spell within a possibility of counterspell of an established villain, that is not on me. I will take no responsibility for that.
Why do you think that I do so many things in combat to try and make your villains burn their reactions early now?
Oh, I love counterspell.
I know how much you love to counterspell stuff, so I'm like, the amount of times that I've ran past villains just to see if they'll attack of opportunity me to use their reaction.
Man, I love it so much that when I designed my big evil necromancer's customized stat block, did I ever tell you that Tregtar's stat block took 2 weeks to design?
Yeah, yeah.
2 weeks.
That which
And
because
he
you
had
put so much love into
two
Tregtar.
reactions, so he could cast both shield and counterspell every round.
Mm-hmm.
Because his custom staff gave him an extra reaction.
Yep, it sure did. But so
Yeah,
I'm thinking
he was an
do you
amalgamation
remember,
of 3 different stat blocks. It was fun.
do you remember when we were talking earlier? Was it was High Elf that worked best with the other things that we planned?
High elf.
Yeah.
Yes.
High Elf, which means I get prestidigitation for free, which is very fun.
But you know what's also fun about that?
I can replace it with yeah. I can replace that cantrip
on a long rest,
which is so
rest,
cool. Yeah, it's long rest.
Yep, every long rest, change
really
cantrip.
Cool. I don't think I'm gonna change it from prestidigitation unless it's like Mage Hand or something.
Or, because you were talking about thinking that you think you're a wood elf, right?
Yeah.
So we could have some real fun, and I could just roll a d12 and tell you what cantrip you have each day.
That would be interesting. Also, right. we could just flavor it that it's still Druidcraft.
I have no problem with that.
Like Wood Elves get.
Well, yes, I think it says you have to take a wizard. I think it says you have to take a wizard.
It does say you have to take a wizard cantrip, so.
Let me think on it, because I don't hate it, but.
But I mean, also in that case, not knowing, like him not knowing that he can switch it, might be something. Where it is just statically stuck at 1 until he figures some stuff out.
Yeah, keep it at prestidigitation, just because that cantrip is so fun.
Yeah,
that one is so fun.
It also just makes sense for a fighter bard, a performer, to be able to fix their hair magically at any moment.
Really does.
I mean, look, there's a reason besides just that I like the look that I have these locks. It's so that I only have to really futz with my hair once a month or so.
Fair. Yeah, mine takes a lot more upkeep than yours does.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but your hair looks amazing.
More. It does. It's a little struggling today, but that's because it needs to be washed. But we're doing that tomorrow because I'm absolutely not. I'm not washing it and styling it on the same day I have jujitsu because it's not going to look good when I'm done with class. It's not.
Yeah.
Just
to quote Cat Williams, you're gonna sweat your perm out.
Yep. 100%.
I only say that because I know the internet does not really widely know about the song that Cat Williams recorded, titled "Sweat Your Perm Out."
Oh, Cat Williams.
I just need to put that on the internet again so that people will go search and find it. At least one other person. Because I need that. And the thing that I just noticed looking through character creation stuff, all of the proficiencies that have a chance that like you can pick from in Keen Senses being an elf are proficiencies that I have already picked.
So it means you can swap one of those out.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll probably do like I think I'll do perception then.
Perception never sucks to have.
Yeah, because performance, persuasion, insight, perception. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, and languages.
I mean, persuasion might not suck to have if you haven't taken it already. Because
no, I've already got persuasion.
Oh, good. I was like, somebody's got to be the Goldang party face.
Yeah, it's just a choice of having deception as well or not.
Sure.
Which I'd rather have insight than deception any day.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather be able to see through someone's lie than be able to lie to them.
Wouldn't it be funny if none of you guys had deception? Like, nobody in your party was a good liar.
Look, knowing Monica as a person, they're never going to make a character without deception.
True. But will they have the charisma to back it up?
We haven't really talked about the character that they're making yet.
You're like, that is not my job.
I mean, Monica's been busy. Their show opened, what, a weekend ago? 2 weekends ago?
Yeah, Monica being busy is like the wind. It just happens.
Yeah. I mean, that's why we're changing up the length of our episodes for this one, just so we can have Monica on. So
You're
that
not
we can,
wrong.
record once a month or maybe twice a month and then have episodes for 3 months.
Yeah, and one of my projects for myself for December is making sure I have it set up where I can record the audio on my end, so we can also finally do this in a just pure audio format
Yep.
as well, because I think
Yep.
that'll
Yep. Yep. Yep.
be very nice.
Very yes. And then, like, if you record it on your end as well as I record it on my end, that means we have backups.
Yep. Yeah,
But yeah.
like, and I'm just going to capture the audio on my end, not the video. I don't think.
Yeah, no, you have too many other things to do while GMing.
Right. Yeah. It'll depend on how much drain it takes. Like if I can also capture the video, I might, just for the sake of, hey, like you said, we would have a backup.
Like
But
having, as well as
that's a low priority for me. High
as
priority
well
is the
as
audio.
you could have the stuff that we talk about before and after the episode recorded, to give to people that, I don't know, join our Discord server by donating to our Ko-fi or something like that.
Oh yeah.
God, that is so loud for the people. I need you to know that, because I still did not change the sound levels on that soundboard. And I
Then
know
I
that
won't
blows
click
my
more of them.
ears out as a person.
Because
so
I am
sorry.
a man of the people. Because I am a man of the people, I won't go ham on this soundboard right now.
I'm so sorry for everyone watching that just had that destroy their ears if they were wearing headphones. I'm just used to it now.
You can't give me a button of the Macho Man Randy Savage and expect me not to use it.
I didn't even give you that button. Phoenix made it.
He did. He's great.
So for languages, just to get back on any kind of track, I mean, because obviously, like, I know Common. It would make sense to know Elvish, being an elf.
I would think you would know Elvish.
Like, even being, an orphan, I still think knowing Elvish makes sense.
Yeah,
but like,
it's encouraged.
I think I might go just because they added it into the core languages for this new book. I think I'm gonna know sign language.
Okay.
I think common sign language, it would make sense. Because if you're doing entertaining, if you're doing like kind of seedy, kind of underground stuff sometimes, it would make sense to know a language that you don't need to verbalize to be able to communicate.
I can't argue with this.
Yeah. As well as maybe I give you a knife to absolutely eviscerate my character with that is a close friend in the orphanage that was deaf.
I mean, start carving their fucking tombstone now. Just
Yo.
just
Yeah.
start carving that tombstone.
Also, I kind of want to do that. Pick sign language just for me as a person, because I want to give myself more motivation to take classes to learn sign language.
Hell yeah!
Because we had at my old work have a very lovely person who's a friend of mine, and also a close personal friend and roommate of another player that we'll have in our campaign too, hopefully, that was gracious enough to teach us a bit of sign language to be used in the theater. Being able to sign, like, like, what is it, like, ticket, like, like, here's your tickets. I'm only remembering little bits and pieces of it now, because I haven't practiced in forever, and like we said, muscle memory is very short term.
Yes, it is.
But
Extremely.
they taught us a bunch of signs. They also taught us how to sign all the names of the shows, which I was very grateful for, especially when we were doing our like specific show dates where we had ASL interpreters at the theater.
Yep.
And then we also had a few schools that came in for field trips that were like specific schools for deaf and hard of hearing kids. So
Very nice.
being able to sign to the kids as they were on their way in was very, very fun. But yeah, so just little my personal interest flavor going into the character.
Now, a little thing for you to be aware of, because I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if you said you haven't gone through the new handbook yet, which
No, not at all.
fine, you will have time, but this is a little thing to know as you go through the regular feats, so not the origin ones,
Mm-hmm.
all of them, and I do mean all of them, have it where you will increase an ability score by 1 when you take these
Interesting.
feats. So you probably remember from the 2014 5e book where there were a lot of feats where it just gave you a thing without any sort of ability score increase.
Mm-hmm.
All of the general feat
General feats.
will give you
Stupid.
a +1. So that can be a thing to think about when you're building your character with your stats, where you might be like, you know what, maybe I'm okay with an odd number here or there,
I mean,
because
multi-classing, I'm not going to get a stat increase for a while.
no, you won't. But just a thing to be aware of, and it's also a thing
Mm-hmm.
to make sure, like, look at how some of these feats are different. Because just because the
Yeah.
feat is reprinted, Great Weapon Master, for example, it's increase your strength by 1. When you hit a creature with a weapon that has the heavy property as part of the attack action, it does extra damage equal to your proficiency bonus.
And I mean,
So,
if you also have mastery with that weapon, then you can add push to it for most
yep.
of the big weapons. That's super cool.
So yeah, that's pretty great. We're like, okay, and that's for every hit with it. So you're always adding your proficiency bonus on
Mm-hmm.
there, which I will honestly say I like that better than the -5 plus 10.
Yeah, I do. There will always be the gambler in me that
Oh,
will
sure.
love the -5 plus 10, but having something be more consistent is, I think, better for a game, especially in the thinking of trying to get more new people into playing,
Yeah. Well,
because
and
like
also like
new people
when you
hate to
would use
fail.
exactly. And when you would use Great Weapon Master at lower levels, like let's say you took it at level 4 originally, your stats probably aren't high enough to support taking a -5 to your to hit.
Yeah,
And at level 4, you only have 1 attack per round. Now, plus 10 damage at level 4 is big,
it's pretty big.
but your odds of missing go up so much. And sure,
Mm-hmm.
okay, barbarian reckless attack. Yes, I know it's there. It's my favorite class. But at the same time, even with advantage, -5 is a lot. Like
It's still
Bane is
huge
you just roll a d4 and subtract it. And I can't tell you how many times I've missed on an attack because I was hit by Bane, or conversely, how many times I
because
have
we were
hit
blessed.
because I had bless.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing this where it equals your proficiency mod, it's like, dude, that's freaking great. The
Yeah.
lowest you can take this is level 4, so your proficiency is a 2 then. All
Yeah.
right, so an extra +2 damage every time. But then once you hit, see here, yeah, once you hit level 5, your proficiency is now a 3. If you're taking Great
Mm-hmm.
Weapon Master, you're probably a martial. If they both hit, that's an extra 6 damage. Great. Level 9, it's +4. That's an extra
Like
8
that's
damage. Level
solid.
13. Yeah, like that much extra damage every single time. I will take
It
that
adds
a
up.
million times. It does. And you're less likely to miss. So
Yeah.
it's
Which
it's a
again, as I
change. It'll take
said, like for newer people getting into it, having that more consistent chance to hit is going to be
yeah.
way more fun for them. Like people that have
I
played for a
couldn't
long
agree more.
time, it's a little easier to be used to failing. Like, you're taking big swings and you're gonna fail as much as you succeed, but like people
Yep.
that it's their first game that still want to do something big, it's nice for them to be able to hit more often and still do a little extra something something.
Yeah. And
'Cause
like
like
for sure.
I've had friends that have like they've wanted to play, they've been really excited to play, and it took some real convincing to keep them playing because their first, sets of rolls just didn't go their way. And it's
Yeah.
not because they planned their character badly, it's not because of anything that they did. It's just cuz the dice are going to do what the dice are going to do.
I think DMs can help take the sting out of that with the way they narrate. Like I don't remember where I picked up this piece of advice, but I took it on quickly where they're going, hey, if you have a player who they're missing their attacks, don't describe it as the arrow flies wide and misses. Talk about how the enemy just got their shield up in time to block it. So you make it sound like, oh, you would have been successful, but because of this creature's defenses, it just barely stopped it. And that's more
Yeah.
rewarding narratively. They get to feel like they kind of did something. I know there are some DMs where, depending on how, like, if somebody misses by one, they might still have it do something to all, to all things with the creature, which, hey, because there are some great DMs out there that are way more creative than I am. And if you have those abilities, hats off to you, because
Yeah.
y'all are the real MVPs. Talking on, as you mentioned, the Great Weapon Master change, only because I know I could see this being a feat come up for you because I know you're a Dexy bitch and you love your ranged stuff.
You
So
know it.
Sharpshooter got a change also.
Yes.
Sharpshooter, you increase that Dex by one. You still ignore half and three quarters cover. You still don't roll at disadvantage on long range. But again, I told you that the -5 +10 from Great Weapon Master is gone. It's also gone from Sharpshooter. But instead of just making it ranged Great Weapon Master, it doesn't do the proficiency thing. What it does, firing in melee, being within 5 feet of an enemy, doesn't impose disadvantage on your attack rolls
Oh.
with ranged weapons. So it kind of took Sharpshooter and Crossbow Expert a bit
Yeah, and kind of slammed it together.
combined them.
It did take away it does take away the big damage, which
Yeah.
I am sad about because that's always it is the thing that's always been the archer's thing, is that archers are always going to hit, man. You just don't always hit that hard, but if you take a chance to not hit, you
Yeah.
can finally hit hard like everyone else. And so I'm gonna like playing more archer characters, like I love to do. I'm gonna miss that, but I don't think I'm
Sure.
gonna miss it much.
No. And they do still have Crossbow Expert, and that one's basically exactly as you knew it. Still
Because
have the dual
that one
wielding,
lets you
ignore
do
loading,
the
fire melee.
reload a crossbow with a crossbow in your hand already somehow,
Yeah.
which I look mechanically I don't understand it. From a game standpoint, I love it.
Oh yeah, you could be Crossbow John Wick. It's so great.
Yeah, I just like from a person who always wants to try and narrate how they see this happen. Man, how you gonna reload a crossbow with a crossbow in the other hand? Like
Carefully.
how you only have two hands.
Huh?
You like what do you do? Like where are you pulling that bolt from? How do you have the hand strength and dexterity to load that bolt and pull it back while also grabbing the other one and pulling it back? Like, I get that it's a game thing. I get that it's gamified, but it makes my brain go,
Sure. As it should.
yep.
As
But
it
I think-
fucking should.
Like we were talking about for stats, I think I've done the everyman thing where I'm going 2 16s, a 12, and 3 10s. And that's
Okay.
including the 3 +1s from the background.
Yeah, I can
And
see
I-
it right here on my screen. There's that 10 con. There's that big bad 10 constitution.
Look, and I've said this multiple times on this stream,
I'm
when I'm
listening.
playing with you, it does not matter
Yeah,
how
baby.
many hit points I have because you're going to crit me.
I fucking hope so. I really do.
Like it happens every time. It doesn't matter. I could make a barbarian with a stacked con and the tough feet, and you would still crit me enough that it would not matter.
Well, the tough feet, take the farmer background.
Oh, is that built into the farmer background?
Built into the farmer.
Oh, I love that. That makes
Yeah,
so
shout
much
out to
sense.
farmers. Like, doesn't it though? Like,
Yeah, that makes
who else is going to
so
be
much
like,
sense.
like, who else is spending that much physical exertion every day?
Yeah,
A
like
fucking farmer.
You're gonna roll in. Look, you're throwing bales. Sometimes, look, you gonna be tough. Sometimes a calf is not gonna be happy with you and is gonna try and ram you. Like, you probably been kicked by a horse at least once. Like,
At
yeah,
least. Yeah,
it makes so much sense. I love that.
my next orc barbarian is having the farmer background. Why?
Oh yeah.
Because I want tough feet. Absolutely want the tough feet.
Starting
and it
with
makes sense.
tough.
And like, of course, the farmer has a big ol' axe.
Yeah,
They need to chop firewood.
100%. Even though never use an axe that's for weaponry for firewood, it's weighted wrong.
No,
You'll hurt yourself.
They're completely different things. They're completely different things.
And also don't use them conversely, because again, you'll hurt yourself.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
A fighting axe and a chopping axe are different things.
Mm-hmm. And I love them both.
Oh yes.
Which, like we were talking about, like we were texting back and forth about, we gotta go axe throwing sometime. Because I've never thrown axes that are meant for throwing.
It's fun.
I've just thrown little
fun.
Wood chopping hatchets that you shouldn't throw them. You'll hurt yourself.
Really should. Yeah.
I know. It'll bounce off of something.
Yeah. And the thing is, axes that are meant for throwing, they'll sometimes bounce off of something too. Like, keep your wits about you, because they can come back. They can come back at you. I've had it happen.
Why do so many axe throwing places have bars with them as well?
So actually, I can tell you, I've only been one time. I went to Blade and Timber up on Cap Hill. It was a lot of fun. If you're gonna go at the bar, you show your ID and you get a wristband. And that wristband has got a little strand on it for punchies. And after they punch your third one, you're cut off.
Oh, that's very smart. Shout out to you, Blade and Timber. Smart.
Yeah, so I was there for a few hours. It was a lot of fun. And I had 3 beers while I was there. But again, we were there for a few hours. It was great. It was a fun time. Socializing, throwing some axes. Totally great time. Yeah, so you can have a couple of Rainiers while you're there and just throw some axes.
You know my standard.
Yep.
If only YouTube and Twitch and TikTok and all the other video sourcing places didn't have in their guidelines so much that you won't be able to be monetized as easily if you actually are shown drinking alcohol on the camera. I would love to get our show sponsored by Rainier. That would be would be
the dream.
Like, as someone born and raised in the Seattle area, like having like, I know they're not owned here anymore. They're under one of the big conglomerates.
Probably
but
InBev.
to still have the at least the name of the local beer from here sponsoring us, that would be just like that's a goal, to do some production that can be sponsored by like the hometown. Like, also I'd love to have because I went to college in Ellensburg, I'd love to have Iron Horse sponsor a thing that I do.
They make good stuff too.
They do. Like, I don't know if you've had this year's I mean, this has just kind of become a hashtag ad for them for a second, even though they haven't paid us, but they have a new coffee partner for their run of Mocha Death for this year.
Okay.
And it's phenomenal. It's a deeper coffee flavor than they've had in past years, and it's very tasty.
And see, now the ultimate dream would, for me, be a Georgetown Brewing.
Oh yeah.
To have any, so because of all, I'm actually wearing a Georgetown shirt.
Oh, there we go. Shout out to them.
My favorite Seattle brewery. They are my favorite Seattle brewery. Like, I know there are people who, and I think anybody who does this is dumb. They want to dog on people who order mayonnaise at a bar. I'm sorry, it's delicious, and it's the only way you can get it.
Yeah.
Like, Manny developed that recipe.
Well, no, they did can it. as soon as
they did it for a little while during the panini, but that one's not canned no more.
oh really, they
They
stopped.
stopped canning the Mannies
Shout out
because
to them for the integrity.
yeah, Manny wanted that to be. He's like, bars are places for people to go and have a beverage and socialize, and he's like, I want to have this product to support bars and bartenders and restaurants, which is cool. Like the
As
fact
a
that it's like
former
we
as a
are
former
used to support-
bartender,
yeah,
which
and
I
I'll tell you
might
what,
start to do again.
my love for Manny's is what gets me going to the bar sometimes, where I'm going,
For sure.
I want a beer, but I want a beer that I can't get at the grocery store that I live across the street from.
Yeah. I know. I mean, we know some people that are connected to there, so maybe that's another. When we start doing live shows, maybe that's a thing.
I'm looking forward to that. Well, yeah, because you're going to be running some sort of bonkers shit for
Well,
us to.
I'm hoping, depending on the people that I talk to, if only bar managers weren't the most busy people on the planet.
What, bar managers are busy? The hell you say?
Yeah. But I'm
They
hoping
work
to.
hard though.
I mean, everyone on TikTok has seen this, but everyone on they're the same camera. Everyone on our Twitch channel doesn't really know that I've been really looking into running some live shows that are specifically made for us being live and being in person and having a bar there for people that do drink and having mocktails planned, as well as just letting the audience be part of it. Not as much as the 20-sided tavern because I don't have a Broadway budget, but
Yeah.
you know, having if it's a shopping episode, having planned storefronts written and printed out so that an audience member can come up and be a shop owner NPC, giving all the players a once a session celebrity role where, yeah, you've got advantage on this roll, but your second die is rolled by one of the audience, so pick wisely.
Nice.
As well as like the audience being able to cheer and boo to give like bonuses and negatives, and you know, maybe you buy the DM a drink and you get to decide something that happens. Like all of that is on the table.
This is lovely.
And maybe the show was just called On the Table.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it. Yeah, when do you think we might start doing those? When's your planned timeline?
That depends on when I can get in touch with these incredibly busy bar managers that are only going to get busier as we get closer to the holiday season.
Well, you're also busy through.
I mean, yeah,
like Santa Claus Day.
You know, I'm doing a very diehard Christmas again.
Yeah, and I'm busy with Latitude Theater's Victorian Christmas card show, so
which is very cool that you're in
evil pro wrestling Santa Claus.
Yeah, which could not be more of a you part.
I'm so happy. I have fight rehearsal on Saturday, and I am so
there
happy.
We go.
The fight director we have, he has I want to say like 7 years pro wrestling experience.
Who is your fight director this time?
David Taylor Thorson.
Oh shoot! All right,
you know him. You know him from kayfabe days.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
He actually just got an amazing job. He's about to move to England. He got a job at the Armory in Leeds doing weapon demos. So yeah, he's a really, really nice guy. I've taken some fight classes with him, and I always liked him. And when I got cast in this show, so we're at the big meeting, everyone in Latitude, and we're having discussions. All the casts are getting together. And our director and our writer are talking about the show. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, okay, it sounds like they're about to get to the fight directing part. And to myself, I thought, it's a bummer they couldn't get David to do this. And then they go, so I don't know if any of you know him. We got David Taylor Thorson to be our fight director for this. And I just about jumped out of my chair with glee. And then he actually walked into the room right then. I'm so happy. Like of all the fight people in Seattle, there could not be a better choice for this specific show. So yeah, I'm going to get to actually learn some real simple pro wrestling stuff on Saturday, which is very different for me because that's not what we do in stage combat
Yeah.
at all. So
Well, you'll have fun
I'm
with
excited.
that.
Oh, 100%. It's gonna be a great time.
So
Yep.
I noticed in picking my equipment just to fill out the character sheet because I've
Yeah.
started to go further on that. That
Yeah.
it didn't let me choose to start with a rapier. Would you mind if I swapped out the scimitar for a rapier in the starting equipment?
I mean, how much gold you got?
26 gold
no,
left. Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, you guys are gonna be level. Leave the equipment as it is for right now, because we're gonna have a session of just sussing out equipment together.
Okay. Well, because
You're gonna be at level 3
I was
or
thinking of
level 2
doing this build that I just made like on stream today and using that specifically for the level 1 and just saving it at that.
Keep the scimitar then, because that
Okay.
could be that could be fun. Well, but you said your first level is fighter though, right?
Yeah.
It didn't. Hang on.
When I did the starting
No
equipment,
way.
it didn't give me a choice. Or maybe I was too busy listening to you and just clicking, and I didn't see that there was a choice.
I'm just gonna do this.
Very possible.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna blow through this real quick because I'm still learning about a lot of the stuff.
Yeah. So the starting equipment for a fighter, you get choices of A, B, or C. A is chainmail, greatsword, flail, 8 javelins, dungeoneer's pack, and 4 gold. Or B, studded leather, scimitar, short sword, longbow, arrows, a quiver, dungeoneer's pack, and 11 gold. Or you can just grab the whole 155 gold. And you get to just choose A, B, or C. And so, being Dexy, chose B.
And you were charlatan background, right?
Yes. Charlatan background only lets you choose either A, forgery kit, costume, fine clothes, and 15 gold, or B, 50 gold.
Okay. I'm just blazing through the setup because I believe you. I just want to see
it for yourself.
Because I'm like, this seems so weird.
It's a little odd, honestly.
Again, I don't hate it, but it's just interesting. All right, elven lineage, high elf, elven lineage spells. I'm just blowing through this because it doesn't actually. Sure, why not? Keen sense. I am going to end up not while we're on the stream here. I am going to end up looking at this stat block that I build of just what happens as I just blow through everything so fast. Of like what? All right.
Well, look, it's fun.
These would be the dumbest stats ever.
I mean, it couldn't possibly be worse than some of the stat blocks that I've made.
No, okay, so here we are. So yeah, you took the studded leather.
Yeah.
One.
And it's just an A, B, or C choice there. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. You know what I would say? Hang on to that for right now.
I'll just at some point shopping episode buy a rapier.
Yeah, because
or breaking out of jail, steal one. I know you love a jailbreak.
I do like that studded leather is actually an option there.
I like that as well.
Of course, you know what makes good about starting with a short sword and a scimitar is that does allow for the free offhand attack with the scimitar because of the whole Vex Nick thing that the dagger offered. Okay, so
it is pretty cool that you can start with that.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I would say leave that for now, but we'll have where the rapier is picked up, and part of the rapier feels a little more bardy to me.
Yeah, so it would also make sense if I picked it up later.
Yeah, so by level 2, you'll have a rapier, and in fact, perhaps when we run your level 1 story, when that eventually happens, that may culminate with the rapier happening somewhere along there, or even that being where it ends is you acquiring one.
Like,
But
it's a rapier with a treble clef on it. And that's how I start playing the lute.
oh gods. No, you don't play the lute. You could play like the viol and like the backside of it, like the false edge is like a bow.
The false edge is a...
Yeah, you're like you do draw it and it doubles as a bow.
Dude, the first time that you stab someone, those strings are gonna snap.
Then we'll have an enchantment on it. We'll have an enchantment on it where you say the magic word as a bonus action and it becomes a bow. And you say the command word again and it becomes a sword. Like,
it's a sword bow, but not in the way you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. It's 100%. I'm all over this. I'm loving this.
Oh shoot, I just noticed the time. It's almost 4. I've got to get ready for final dress rehearsal tonight for A Very Die Hard Christmas up at Seattle Public Theater.
Hell yeah.
I'd tell everyone to go get tickets, but they're already sold out, so just show up for a rush ticket, we hope.
Yep.
But also, everyone's going to be trying to get rush tickets, so good luck. But yeah, this has been very fun. I've been very glad to have the time to do this and just hang out with you like we used to do when we started the whole Twitch channel. And it was just an excuse for us to talk for a little bit during the Panini.
Just gave something to survive the pandemic, yeah.
Yeah. But
it helped.
I guess it very much did. And it gave us a whole lot of fun and shenanigans. But yeah, I'm going to go get some food, get myself ready to do the show and all that. Because we've got an invited audience of a few special people to the cast today.
Hell yeah.
Which means there'll be actual people in the audience, which will be very fun.
Which makes all the difference. It makes all the difference.
And it's also nice because we'll get to try out those jokes with particular people that we have invited, which will be nice. And also, if you haven't been specifically invited, go away.
Yeah. It's called an invited dress, not a show up and the theater lets you in dress. It doesn't work that way.
People never know about that. But, it is what it is. There's a lot of stuff about theater that people don't know until they're around it. I mean, like rush tickets, for example.
Yeah.
No one would know that there are rush tickets until you start to go to live theater, and then not all theaters do rush tickets.
Yep. And the ones who you're like, oh, I can stand at the box office and hope. So yeah. Just get there a little early. Don't count on nothing. Have a plan B in your back pocket if nothing opens up. That's the advice I was given, and the times I've gone trying to get rush tickets, I always have plan B where I go, hey, if the box office goes, sorry man.
Yep.
Nothing available.
This is what I'm doing for my night.
I go do my other thing because
the
only way it really sucks is if you're then just going home and not doing anything. That's where you feel like nothing got accomplished. We're like, okay, well now I'm going to go do this instead.
Anyway, I said I was going to go. I got to freaking go.
Well, before you go, I think this would be a great opportunity to say something that hasn't been said in a very long time.
Oh man, do it.
Do something nice for yourself this weekend.
God, that was the old sign off. I thought you were gonna say the current one. Sign off. Man.
No, because we'll get to a chaos awaits when we play, but
that's fair.
Yeah,
well,
that'll be when we're playing.
God dang, I'm gonna say it just because it feels good. Do something nice for yourself for this weekend. It feels good. It feels good to be nice.